Sunny and 27 today with the 6 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Graham Willings.
Chipped windscreen? Complete Windscreens can repair it from just $99. Look for the big red koala.
As many as 100 current players are reportedly using the current AFL drug rules to avoid further scrutiny. The Advertiser reports dozens of players have been granted secret immunity from the AFL's three-strike drugs policy. Former Collingwood President Eddie Maguire says it's not a new issue. The policies established in 2005 were designed to stop players from playing while positive for performance-enhancing drugs, including cocaine.
But players did not ever have to sign up to that. So to get them to sign up in 2005, there was this anonymity. The reasoning for that was to stop players playing on a Saturday, for example, with traces of cocaine in their body, which would then be performance-enhancing and put them at risk.
As expected, Labor has won the Dunston by-election. Mel Asher has the details.
It's been a waiting game, but we finally have a winner after Saturday's vote in the eastern suburbs. Liberal Anna Finizio called her opponent Cressida O'Hanlon late yesterday and congratulated her on winning the by-election. Opposition leader David Spears also conceding in a phone call to the Premier. Both parties have lost ground since the 2022 election, a swing to the Greens helping Labor win via preferences. It gives the Malinowskis government 28 seats in Parliament's lower house compared to the opposition's 14.
The ALP are yet to formally announce the win. A house at Holden Hill is looking a little worse for wear. A Mazda CX-5 lost control at a roundabout, crashed through a fence and then into the home around 7 last night. The elderly resident escaped without injury, as did the driver, but the 45-year-old man has copped an expiation notice for failing to maintain proper control of a vehicle. We're heading into day 2 of the 48-hour ban on elective surgery across Adelaide's public hospitals. More than 30 surgeries are expected to be cancelled today. Yesterday it was 33. The ban will end at 11:59 tonight. SA Health says the decision was made to free up hospital capacity ahead of Easter. Investigators in Baltimore have recovered the data recorder from the cargo ship that crashed into a bridge, causing it to collapse. 6 people who were on the bridge at the time are now presumed dead. All are believed to be members of a pothole repair crew who were working on the bridge and are citizens of Latin American countries. A $1 billion solar program is being established as part of a plan to boost the nation's renewable energy industry. Zach De Silva reports.
Australia has more solar panels per household than anywhere else in the world, but just 1% of those are manufactured here. In a bid to change that, the Prime Minister is heading to the New South Wales Hunter, traditionally coal industry heartland. There, Anthony Albanese will announce a new program aimed at boosting the number of solar panels made in Australia. The $1 billion Solar Sunshot scheme will provide grants and subsidies across the entire supply chain, from raw materials through to glass, wafers and new research.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
And here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Graham. It is selection night for the Crows and Port Adelaide ahead of their round 3 matches this weekend. Adelaide is desperate to record its first win of the season against Fremantle tomorrow night, while the Power wants to keep its undefeated run going against Melbourne on Saturday night. Brisbane, meantime, is up against Collingwood tonight at the Gabba in a grand final rematch. Co-captain Lachie Neale is one of 3 inclusions for the Brisbane side. Lions development coach Daniel Lloyd has told Wide World of Sports they've been working hard on consistency, having still not won a game this season.
We know that we haven't put 4 quarters of footy together yet, and we've seen our best and we've probably seen our worst in the same game. So yeah, it's about being consistent and really focusing on just what we can control in the game.
Let's go to cricket. Australia's women have recorded a series sweep against Bangladesh after winning their final one-dayer against their side by 8 wickets. Meantime, South Aussie Travis Head has made a great start for his Sunrisers Hyderabad in the IPL, smashing 62 off only 24 balls as his side beat the Mumbai Indians by 31 runs. To basketball, the Tassie Jack Jumpers are on the verge of an historic NBL title when they come up against Melbourne United tonight at home. The Jack Jumpers lead the best-of-5 series 2-1. And a stack of Aussie heavyweights have been eliminated on an upset-filled Day 2 at the Bells Beach Surf Pro. Molly Picklum, Tyler Wright and Jack Robinson among those bowing out. And that's the 5AA Sport.
And now the 5AA forecast. Sunny today, 27. Tomorrow, Good Friday, sunny 29. Saturday, sunny 31. Sunday, mostly sunny 28. And Easter Monday, cloudy and 25. Right now it's 16. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Struggling with your CPAP therapy? Try the world's first auto-fitting mask from Fisher & Paykel Healthcare. Respirocare Healthcare is offering the Fisher & Paykel Sleep Style device for 30% off, plus a free solo mask valued at $310. Visit one of 6 Respirocare clinics and mention this ad to redeem this offer. Respirocare Healthcare, proudly serving South Australia for 20 years. When considering whether CPAP is right for you, speak to your doctor. Always follow the directions for use.
Get great value hands down this Easter at Coles. Like Coles Australian lamb boneless leg roast, down to just $15 a kilo. That's great value hands down this Easter at Coles.
Harvey Norman's Super Easter Sale on now. HP 15S Core i5 laptop. Hot deal just $698. Get bonus Galaxy Buds FE with the awesome new Samsung Galaxy A55 5G. $699. Bosch Series 6 freestanding dishwasher with bonus $65 gift card, bonus finish pack and bonus local delivery. $1,399. Save a massive $451 on the Dyson 360 VizNav robot vacuum. Now $1,548. Super Easter Sale at Harvey Norman now. Bonus via redemption.
Go! It's time to take a closer look at a Peugeot with drive-away offers on new SUVs. Like the Peugeot 3008 GT SUV from an alluring drive-away price. With an elevated driving position and the latest safety features, this mid-size SUV epitomises style and comfort. Take advantage of new SUVs available for prompt delivery while stocks last. T's and C's apply. Head to Peugeot.com.au or visit your local Peugeot dealer today.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide. David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Yes, good morning to you and welcome along to the Central Market for something that's become a bit of a 5AA breakfast tradition over the course of the last few years. The Thursday heading into the Easter long weekend, broadcasting live from, what do we always call this, the southwest corner of the markets. Southwest corner of the markets. If you're in the vicinity, come and say hi. Otherwise, come and grab yourself something to eat, a coffee. It's a great place to be. Things are just opening up as we start the program this morning. A forklift just drove past us in our position here. It's always a good fun morning. What we will do, though, is make sure you're across everything that's going on right around Adelaide, Australia and the world. As always, we're off to the US. Miley Hogan has been entrenched in Baltimore for the last 3 days with the latest on the bridge collapse there. There's some detail now coming out about the nature of the on-board emergency on the ship that she'll have for us just before 7 o'clock. We'll take you through the stories in the morning after 7, including more on the AFL drug testing scandal. Ryan Fitzgerald's going to be on the program to get your tips covered. Matt Abraham, I tell you what, talk about champing at the bit. Matt Abraham can't wait to come in and talk about the outcome now of the Dunston by-election as we know it. Port fans, Dan Houston's going to join us on the show. And this is as exciting as it gets, David. It's a Thursday. Feedback Thursday here as we go into the Easter long weekend. You can win yourself a seafood tray thanks to the Angelakis brothers, and good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. Absolutely fantastic being here at the Central Market. I can see our own Jade Robrin just over the way there, chatting to the guys at Vegas, home of the world's best chicken nuggets.
Is she working, or is she just sort of come here to do some shopping?
I think she might actually be doing some shopping. She might be their first customer of the day. First of many. It's going to be a packed day here at the market. It always is. And the lead up to Easter and the lead up to Christmas are the two biggest times of the year. And I was just driving in this morning, coming down Morford Street, turning right into Goodger Street, and as you come into the market, and even when you come into Chinatown, we really are blessed to have this place in South Australia. Like, there's genuinely nothing like it anywhere else, and I know that I've said that before, but you know, you think about, I mean, Sydney's got that wonderful fish market in Pyrmont, but it's obviously, you know, its key focus, as the name suggests, is fish. There's a couple of continental stores, or one there that's good. Melbourne's got Pran Market, which is quite nice. There's some good food shops there. But for the full gamut of the best of South Australia, the best of international food, You know, how good that you can go to a place like Say Cheese and you can buy cheeses from Portugal and Spain and France and the Adelaide Hills and Mount Gambier. Like, it's just got everything. It's got everything you want.
It's funny. I think it becomes more of a way of life if you live in and around the city. But for us, always coming to the city's always been an event, and coming to the markets is still an event. It means something exciting's coming up. It means, oh, we've got Easter, we've got family coming around. So let's go to the markets and get everything you want. You don't have to go anywhere else, and it becomes the shopping component of it becomes really fun. So whenever we come here to do shopping, it means either A, we're doing something fun on that day in the city, and we've gone, let's go to the markets and grab something to eat. Or it means there's a special event coming up where you don't just want to go and get run-of-the-mill stuff. You want to go and get something that is a little bit different, a little bit fun. Yeah, and, you know, you think about all the places that have been here over the years, you know, some of them all since the dawn of time as far as South Australia's concerned. We're just down the road here from Lucia's, and how these businesses have actually diversified. You know, like a generation ago, Lucia's was the place you came to for pasta, a lovely toasted sandwich, and, you know, some of the best coffee you'll ever drink, and it still is all of those things, but it's now, you know, it's in every Foodland in SA. They're wonderful tomato sauces, all their pre-made pasta sauces, you know, just a terrific brand, and good to be here, and lovely to be here too, on the cusp of 4 days, a four-day weekend. Everyone's champing at the bit for a break, I reckon, and who knows how some of the AFL players are going to celebrate it. We'll probably never know. What a total shambles. This is just bizarre, isn't it? David, it's all about the players' welfare and best interests, obviously. I reckon it's got less to do with managing the players and more to do with managing the perception of the AFL, managing completely the you know, eliminating scandal by shutting things down. Why is AFL the only code in the world that's decided that you can have a nudge, nudge, wink, wink policy to stop people being actually tested for what are regarded as performance-enhancing drugs? You get a pre-test to make sure you don't fail the actual test, and then the footballing public gets lied to about what's going on. You know, the people I feel sorry for now, every single player who's not playing this weekend. I mean, who's out already? Clayton Oliver's out for Melbourne. He hurt his hand at training. Now, that announcement has been met with utter mirth on social media. And it means, I mean, Jason Horne-Francis isn't playing. And I cannot stress enough, I'm not impugning any of these guys. No. I mean, Tom Duday's not playing. They're impugned by circumstance. So all of them are thrown into this basket now, where because of the AFL's, I've always said, you know, smug AFL mates of mine who go, oh, you know, how can you watch NRL? That code's run by half-wits, and there's always a drama going on in the NRL. I go, well, maybe the AFL is just better at covering stuff up. Maybe there's always a, quote, drama going on in the AFL too, except we don't hear about it. And the main reason we don't hear about it is that the AFL, with its collegiate/clubby approach, and also I think too many of the Melbourne journos are too close to AFL House, which is why Mick Warner's done everyone a massive favour by blowing this apart. The latest development this morning is that there is about 100 players who, according to Mick Warner's reporting, have immunity from the three-strike drugs policy, because they're involved in a model of care. A model of care that means they sort of, effectively they've said, hey, I've got a problem with cocaine, and as such, I'll get secretly tested on the side. So I'll never fail a test, it'll never become public, but also I'll never fail, I'll never get a strike and never be sanctioned for it either. How is that helping those players though? Because it almost looks like, you know, you're on some sort of helpful program to make sure that you can keep doing it, as opposed to prevent you from doing it. That's certainly how it looks. So the AFL's argument is, well, it encourages them to come forward and speak to a doctor in the first instance, who then can help manage their care without it becoming public and blowing up. And so, I don't buy any of that. I think it's a very convenient system that's been built to keep the AFL out of the headlines. Correct. Would like to know what you think, folks. 8223 0000. Today, Jade is going to be doing the roving. Normally I do the roving, but Jade Robert here hitting the ground running. We've got a professional rover now, I guess. We have. We're in a good position. But yeah, if you are coming in today, folks, and you want to come and say good day, we are, as Will said, just off Goodger Street, southwestern corner, opposite the wonderful
Atlas Cafe, and we're going to be here till 9 o'clock, as always.
15 minutes after 6, we're going to take a short break and jump into the news headlines right after this.
Heading out on the water? Make sure you have the correct life jacket. Head to marinesafety.sa.gov.au and use the life jacket checker tool. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Come on in.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 85 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
Aldi's huge 1.5 kilo pack of honey soy drumsticks is now $7.99. It's chicken drumsticks. Aldi, good, different.
As we all know, the housing crisis is not going anywhere soon. In fact, it seems to be getting worse. But if you're a landlord and you're looking to sell, you have the power to make a difference, a really big difference.
Magain have hundreds of landlords looking to buy right now, so get in touch with the Magain team and sell your property to another landlord, and you'll save on the advertising fees too.
It means your current tenants will have somewhere to live, their kids can go to the same school, they can hang out with the same friends, and at the end of the day, they'll still have a place to call home, and that is the most important thing of all.
So as a landlord looking to sell, it means you have the power to make a big difference to the housing crisis, and Magain can help you make it happen. Visit their website, magain.com.au.
It's Edward here from Edwardstown Mazda.
Thanks, Edward. I've got this. And it's big news.
How big?
Really big. Edwardstown Mazda have extended their sale with huge Mazda factory bonuses across a wide range of Mazdas. Plus, get a $2,000 trade-in bonus on top of your trade-in price. Only available at Edwardstown Mazda.
Wow!
I know, right? Wow!
Plays a jingle sing.
It's gotta be
Edwardstown Mazda. T's and C's apply.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Ray White Business Sales. Business people selling businesses. Go on, touch base, search RWC Business Sales.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
28th of March. We are here in the Central Market. Neither reported any hamstring soreness or calf tightness, so we have managed to front up today. Let's jump into the news headlines. The Liberals have conceded, handing Labor a historic win in the Dunston by-election. Anna Finizio's called Cressida O'Hanlon. David Spears spoke to the Premier late yesterday to congratulate them on the victory. Miss O'Hanlon, the first government-backed candidate to win an opposition-held seat in a by-election in more than a century. No official announcement from the AOP yet, but this is done and dusted. Now I think there's bipartisan support for change to the way that counting gets done, because it's ridiculous that this happened nearly a week ago.
Yeah.
One seat, and it took this long to get a result.
I wonder whether the Electoral Commission of South Australia was tied up with some of the admin around the Voice as well, because they had the elections for the last couple of weeks. But yeah, it is quite a slow-moving process. We were joking about the sloth from Zootopia, flash, 100-yard dash. It did have a touch of that to it. I think the big danger for the Libs is that because they looked like they were utterly humiliated last Saturday and then they came back a bit, is that they might conclude that they actually haven't done too badly.
You think this is the Gold Coast game for the Libs?
I think that is a great analogy. They are kidding themselves if they think they did all right.
Yeah.
You know, this is a seat that they held for the last 14 years, and with the government having failed to deliver at all yet on its number one election promise around restoring the public health system, for the Liberals to go backwards is unforgivable and incompetent. And they need to avoid any sense of sort of, well, you know, Labor's primary vote fell too. I mean, look, the government's primary vote always falls in by-elections, but yeah, total shambles, and we'll be getting into it with Matt Abraham after 7:30.
There's a house at Holden Hill that's looking a little worse for wear this morning. A Mazda CX-5 lost control at a roundabout, crashed through a fence, then into the home on the corner of Valiant Street at around 7 last night. The elderly resident escaped without injury, as did the driver, but there's a 45-year-old man that's copped an expiation notice for failing to maintain proper control of a vehicle. It could have been much worse.
Also,
AFL CEO Andrew Dillon has said the league is reviewing its 19-year-old illicit drugs policy. Because it came out.
Yeah, that's why they're doing it.
That's right. There, of course, the reason it came out was because Independent MP Andrew Wilkie spoke in Parliament under privilege with some signed documents from Glenn Bartlett, the former Melbourne Football Club boss, the former Melbourne Football Club doctor too. Andrew Dillon, though, the AFL CEO for his part, says that the rules have been followed.
We are unapologetic about club and AFL doctors taking the correct steps to ensure that any player who they believe has an illicit substance in their system does not take place in any AFL match, and the doctor-patient confidentiality is upheld and respected.
Mick Warner, who's had the inside running on this story from the beginning, this morning reporting that more than 100 players have been protected from failed drug tests.
We're getting a lot of feedback on the Duttons text line about it already. One here from Sharon. Mick Moldhouse is expecting the AFL to lose sponsorship over the secret drug test saga, likely to backfire further on the AFL, especially after Andrew Dillon's response. One here saying maybe it's time for governments to pull funding from the AFL. Wally the Walnut says Melbourne in particular have been very smelly for a long time. The AFL should go in and dismiss their board. It's been an issue for a while. Keep them coming, folks.
An international team of astronomers led by Curtin University have discovered 49 new galaxies in less than 3 hours. I don't know what the rate of finding galaxies is, but that feels pretty quick.
I'll say. I've never found one.
No. They use the Meerkat radio telescope based in South Africa.
Is it attached to a meerkat?
I think that's probably why they found them. It's very active. They've been nicknamed the 49ers, with 3 of the galaxies connected directly by their gas. Dr. Marcin Glavatsky says it's a remarkable discovery.
If you were to point meerkats at a random point of the sky for a little over 2 hours, which was how long this observation was, you wouldn't expect to find 20 or 30 galaxies, and yet we found nearly 50 of them in one shot. So this is quite a large discovery that we found so many just by chance without even trying to find them in the first place.
Makes you feel kind of irrelevant in the scheme of things, doesn't it?
It does.
All these new galaxies out there.
Where would we be without Polish scientists, by the way? Finding galaxies, coding the Enigma machine. I mean, where does it stop?
The Poles have done well in that space.
Absolutely.
That wasn't a pun. It wasn't meant to be a pun. But
you mean the telescope on a light?
Yeah.
Long pole.
Yeah, that's long pole. The poles are in.
The poles are in. Coles is putting heavy restrictions over cash withdrawals over the Easter weekend with fears of an Armaguard collapse. The supermarket giant has halted all Armaguard delivery services because the money transit provider needs a massive cash infusion to stay afloat. This is really peculiar. It means Coles
as
customers...
a business, you mean?
Yeah. So
really?
So Coles customers can only withdraw $200 instead of $400 until April the 5th. So this is not...
Are they worried Armaguard's going to collapse?
They're worried Armaguard's going to collapse. So Coles is fine, but the company they use to move cash around needs a cash injection.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So why would Armaguard, as a cash handling company, be in financial strife? Would it be because they've got less cash to move?
It'd have to be, wouldn't it?
I mean, this is some, old-fashioned business model problem with overheads or something like that. But you'd think it would just purely be the result of, people moving to cashless transactions.
How bizarre. Adelaide man Derek Bromley has been granted parole after spending 40 years in prison for a crime he has consistently denied committing. The parole board confirmed the request was granted because of his exemplary behaviour in prison. He was jailed for life over the 1984 murder of Stephen DeCosa, making him the longest-serving Indigenous prisoner in the community.
He's always flat-out refused to admit that he did it because he says he didn't do it. And unlike his co-accused, who got, when he qualified for parole, he immediately said, yes, I did it, even though he subsequently privately said, no, I never did. I just said that so that I could get parole.
Right.
But Bromley, the thing that was stopping him from getting parole was his refusal to say that he did it, because he said, no, I'm not saying it because I did not.
It's a pretty reasonable sort of morning this morning. 15.9 degrees outside at the moment. We're heading for a top of 27. It's going to be a beautiful day today, and the rest of the weekend, frankly, too, is going to be magnificent. 29 on Friday and sunny, 30 on Saturday, 28 on Sunday, and then 25 and cloudy for the Monday with potentially a little drizzle of rain on the day. But otherwise, a picture-perfect Easter long weekend.
Bring it on.
When the UV's 3 and above, cover up your sun protection. Stay SunSmart and download the SunSmart app. The UV predicted today to reach 8, which is considered very high. Let's head back to Hindmarsh Square. Tom Wren is in the 5AA Breakfast studio. Thanks to Glider or Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to your home gliderol.com.au. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. I can see you boys. Not sure if you can see me, but if you could bring me back a Lucia sandwich there, Dave, that'd be very, very much appreciated.
I see what I can do, Tom.
Beautiful. Thank you. Hey, looking forward to teams night tonight with the Crows and Port Adelaide. I think there might be a couple of changes with the Crows. I get the sense they're going to make a bit of a statement. Brodie Smith's to 50th. I think he'll play. But it's a huge game, as we know, tomorrow night against Fremantle, and for Port as well, looking to keep their undefeated run going. And I heard you talking about the drug story just a little bit earlier, and I think it's fair to say at the moment there's a bit of outrage, isn't there? I think the public hate feeling as though they've had the wool pulled over their eyes, and I reckon
Correct.
that's the case with this one. I think they feel like they've been blindsided a bit, and if I was a player, I heard Jimmy Bartell speaking on the sports show last night, and I tend to agree. I think if you're a player and you weren't someone that, partook, and that's the majority, let's put that out there, the majority of players that isn't doing the wrong thing, and you pull out with a hamstring niggle, a genuine one, you sort of get cast with that aspersion, don't you? That, oh, yeah.
Well, that's exactly what we were saying before, Tom. I mean, we were laughing about, the idea that our great mate, who's as pure Tom Duday is out this week, tragically, because of his ACL recurring. Everyone's going to get sniggered at now. It's absurd.
Hey, Rennie.
Yes.
You might be able to help with this. We were talking about it earlier, off air. The guys I now suddenly feel sorry for are those that have been caught taking illicit drugs, whose reputations have been dragged through the mud as the problem children of the AFL. Jack Ginnivan comes to mind.
Yep.
Bailey Smith.
There's a host of others too that I'm sure you know about, whose crime now seems to be not that they took an illicit substance, but rather they got caught taking an illicit substance. Because it appears, based on the way this policy is structured, the greatest crime you can commit is damaging the reputation of the AFL.
It's a great point. I didn't even think of it like that, Will. You're spot on.
The message seems to be, look, if you're going to do this, do it privately.
Yep.
We'll keep it on the down low. You can miss a game with hamstring awareness or a sore pinky, and whatever you do, don't put it on Instagram, because then it will become a problem for you.
Yeah, exactly right. So, and that's a really good point, and I'm sure those players would be aware that it's more widespread. I mean, they're far more entrenched in it than we are. Yet they can't say that publicly, of course. And they're just the ones that are now the public faces of it. The other story I wanted to touch on you with, fellas, as well is, and as you know, and it's a very serious issue, I enjoy flutter and we all partake in one, but what about the story, and Will, I know you'll be and are across this enormously, but the Toronto Raptors forward, Jonte Porter, so bear with us here, David, NBA player, his brother's actually a superstar of the competition. He's under investigation by the NBA following multiple instances, and this is where betting and prop betting, and what I mean by that is, betting on possessions or different types of things within football games or basketball games can be really dangerous and a slippery slope. He's being investigated for multiple instances of betting irregularities over the past several months. So essentially what's been happening is he's been betting on the unders. So say, the unders are for him to score 4.5 points or less. He'll score a 3-pointer and then he'll go, I hurt my eye. And he'll come off the court. Or he'll be for less than 5 rebounds, or he'll be for less than 1 3-pointer. So he won't attempt a 3-pointer in the game. And the markets have been saying the biggest bets have been on this random player who no one really even knows. And it's just all blowing up. It's an extraordinary story.
It's the danger of prop betting. And, the NBA for a long time rejected the idea of gambling. They were the sort of the purer than pure sort of code. And now, from next year, this debacle coincides with the announcement that next year they're going to have picture-in-picture live gambling opportunities. For example, you can live stream games, and in the corner of your screen, if you're watching on an iPad or iPhone, you can click, that'll flash up with the live odds, and you can just click that, and it will bet it for you. Like, the integration of it, I think, is crazy, and it comes at a time we can see the risks of it.
Yep.
It can damage your on-court product.
I thought cricket banned those, what they call exotics, where you could bet on how many wides someone's going to bowl per game, or how many no balls someone was going to bowl. Because in India there were players who were, and they were all really low-level games, but there were players who were doing it and betting.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, in Australia, I believe this is the case, but to live bet, Will, you have to call up. So at least it makes it,
I think is that Australia or South Australia, Rennie?
Maybe it's only
Jay
South.
Weather will change the rules.
Yeah, maybe and I think that's a really good introduction. Whereas
I'm not sure about that. Yeah.
If that's the case, Will, where you can just click on it, my goodness, that's going to be an explosion of betting over there in the States.
Absolutely, Rennie. Great work back there in Hindmarsh Square.
Thanks,
On
boys.
you, Tom.
Good work. Enjoy the market.
We certainly will. 5AA News is coming up.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 27 today with the 6:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
From chips to replacements, make Complete Windscreens your insurer repairer of choice. CompleteWindscreens.com.au.
The opposition has blocked the federal government's attempts to pass tougher migration laws. The legislation would have allowed asylum seekers to be more easily deported if they are not genuine refugees or face up to 5 years in jail. Labor has accused the coalition of playing politics and compromising the nation's security, but Shadow Immigration Minister Dan Tehan says it was a botched policy.
We wanted to ensure there were no unintended consequences, like potentially it leading to more people arriving by boat. We wanted to interrogate it. They didn't allow the Australian Border Force to come to the hearings, and we wanted to be able to talk to them to make sure there were no pull factors in this.
The Liberals have conceded, handing Labor a historic win in the Dunston by-election. Anna Finizio called Cressida O'Hanlon, and David Spears called the Premier late yesterday to congratulate them on the victory. Ms O'Hanlon is the first government-backed candidate to win an opposition-held seat in a by-election in more than a century. There's been no official announcement from the ALP as yet. A $1 billion scheme is being set up to boost the nation's solar panel production. Right now, less than 1% of solar panels on Australian roofs are built locally. The new Solar Sunshot scheme will provide grants and subsidies across the renewable energy supply chain. The data recorder from a container ship which struck the Baltimore Bridge, causing it to crumble into the water, has been recovered by investigators. Coast Guard crews are still searching for the bodies of 6 construction workers killed in the collapse. While the White House works to stem the economic effects with the Baltimore shipping port expected to remain closed for some time, US Transport Secretary Pete Buttigieg says the government remains committed to rebuilding the bridge.
We still don't fully know the condition of the portions of the bridge that are still standing or of infrastructure that is below the surface of the water. So rebuilding will not be quick or easy or cheap, but we will get it done.
Police will have a highly visible presence on our roads over the Easter break. Operation Safe Holidays and Operation Stop Drink Drug Driving start today and will run through till Monday. SAPOL is urging everyone to do their part to ensure a fatality-free long weekend. Over the past 5 years, 7 lives have been lost and 43 people have been seriously injured at Easter on SA roads, mostly in regional parts of the state. Australian researchers are designing a pill incorporating cannabis which will help those suffering insomnia to get a good night's sleep. The treatment makes use of a CBD component commonly found in cannabis, though the pill won't give users a high. Avecho Chief Executive Dr. Paul Gavin says insomnia is a major problem facing many.
It affects, 40% of the Australian population, costs the economy $19 billion a year.
And now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderroll Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderroll.com.au.
And here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Graham. Let's start with footy. Collingwood defenders John Noble and Will Hoskin-Elliott come into the side for tonight's game against Brisbane at the Gabba. Both teams are looking for their first win of the season. Midfielder Steele Sidebottom will be managed and will miss the clash, while Oleg Markov has been omitted. Well, the Lions have been boosted meantime by the return of 2-time Brownlow medalist Lachie Neale, who comes in along with Jack Payne and Darcy Fort. And the sides for both the Crows and Port Adelaide will also be released tonight ahead of their round 3 matches respectively. Well, it's do or die for Melbourne United tonight in Game 4 of the NBL Grand Final Playoff Series against the Tassie Jack Jumpers. Control during the best-of-5 series has seesawed, with United coach Dean Vickerman vowing to hang on to any scoreboard margins.
We take a lot of confidence in the things that we've done so far, and when we've got a 10-point advantage, it's can we push it out? Can we get 3 stops in a row? What can we do to push that margin out a little bit?
The 4,000 tickets for the series decider match were snapped up in just a few minutes, prompting calls for a larger basketball arena in Tasmania. And in some tennis, American Danielle Collins has defeated Caroline Garcia to move into the semi-finals of the Miami Open. Aussie Alex de Minaur was knocked out in the fourth round match, going down in 3 sets to Hungarian Fabian Marozsan. And that's the 5AA Sport.
And now the 5AA forecast. Sunny today, 27. Tomorrow, sunny, 29. Saturday, sunny, 31. Sunday, mostly sunny, 28. Easter Monday, cloudy, 25. Right now, it's 16. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Ray White Business Sales. Business people selling businesses. Go on, touch base. Search RWC Business Sales.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
24 minutes to 7. We're live from the Adelaide Central Markets. I was just chatting with Jade Robran, who's joined us down at the markets. She's going to be out doing what she does out on the roads, but inside the four walls of the Central Market venue this morning, and she's already been allowed into the inner sanctum. This is something remarkable.
What is the inner sanctum?
Well, we'll find out in about 5 minutes' time.
I never even knew there was an inner sanctum.
No, you're going to like this. This is excellent. In about 5 minutes' time, we'll check in with Jade, who is roaming around and already making inroads into a secret subculture that we didn't even know existed.
She always gets to the story, Jade.
Completely. All right, let's check in with Gary from Collinswood, who's called into the program on 8223 0000. Morning to you, Gary.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good, mate.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, look, I agree with everything what you said, and it's just interesting. Years ago, you'd hear people say the player, he's not playing this week because there's a death in the family or something, blah, blah, blah. And then, like you said, now it's personal reasons. And I used to think to myself, personal reasons. You sort of, so like you said, that becomes a bit of a thing. Just going on with that, with the drugs, it's just not people. To me, it is too soft, this policy, because once people get on drugs, you don't normally just get off drugs next week. It could take months, it could take years to get off drugs. Some people never get off drugs. That's that. And then also, of course, it's the damage you do along the way. It's not only to themselves, it's to their family, because then they get dependent on drugs, so then they've got to take, they're looking for money, so they start to do robberies or gambling, then they gamble and get into all kinds of trouble. So you can butter it up.
So you're saying, Gary, they're not doing them any favours?
No, of course you're not.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And look, have a very quick point. Rowie, I think it was Rowie or Tim Ginnivan last night said that we're the drug capital of South Australia. And I agree with that. I'll tell you why. I was up the Gold Coast about 5 years ago, sitting in a pub, and these three colourful characters were sitting near me. And they said, I'm going down to live in Adelaide. And they do me drugs system down there. And another guy said, yeah, so am I. And the other mate said, why are you going down there? He said, they got there's no real laws. He said, the guy's name was Bill. He got fined $300. And then about 6 months later, he got fined $800. This guy, Bill, was making $50,000 a week. So if you think a $300 fine is going to worry him,
yeah.
So they're all coming here.
Yeah, Gary, thank you. Keep the calls coming in, 8223 0000. Stack of texts too on the Duntons text line. Duntons Ford, why wait? The range is in stock now for immediate delivery. Duntons, easy to do business with. A lot of comments online I read from people too were from people who are routinely drug tested in their workplace. Miners, truck drivers, and others have said, I don't get a secret wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hey, maybe you've got a cold today.
So you can't come into work tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I can't come into work because I'll be afforded a secret double test.
Yeah, he's got gastro again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, another weekend with Pete getting gastro.
He often gets it when he's out clubbing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just the double standard is pretty galling.
It's going to make the arrival of the entire AFL sort of head honchos are all here from Wednesday onwards next week. There's some massive cocktail party down at Glenelg that Andrew Dillon and all the other hoi polloi are going to be at. It's going to be a bit of a messy week for the media-wise, and a lot of it's going to be unfolding right here in South Australia.
You look, as an old journo, you look like you're relishing the opportunity here in...
well, you bring it upon yourself. What's Shakespeare's line? The truth will out. The truth will out.
Well, usually Jade is cruising around the streets in her Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace searching for breaking news thanks to Dutton's Volkswagen. Today, she's just powered by two legs walking around the Adelaide Central Markets for us. Where are you at the moment, Jade?
Good morning. I am out the front of Angelakis Brothers, and joining me is the manager of the store, David. David, calm before the storm, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So we're expecting a very big day today, being Easter Thursday. And here in the Central Market, we're open till 7 p.m. tonight.
So when does the crowd start coming in?
Normally around about 8 o'clock. That's when everybody sort of gets up and comes in to get their seafood for Easter.
So if you want to avoid the lines, maybe pop in right now. Now, I have $50, say, $50, family of 4. What can I buy for an Easter feast for Good Friday?
You can't go past your South Australian cooked king prawns, caught in the waters off Port Lincoln. We've got them on special at the moment for $38.99. But also for our fine Footy members, we've got them on special for $36.99, so you save yourself $2 a kilo.
Sensational. Those oysters are looking all right. Where are they from?
Yeah, they're from Coffin Bay, so beautiful, fresh Coffin Bay oysters, $24.99 a dozen.
And what have we got here? Some crays. Yep. Down from Robe?
Yep, yeah, you got it spot on, Jade. Yeah, they're caught in the waters off Robe down near Mount Gambier. And they're on special for $97.99 a kilo, so beautiful South Australian cooked crayfish.
What do you cook up?
Oh, look, my favourite is South Australian flathead. Yeah, you can't go past flathead, and a nice salad and a nice cold beer.
And do you know what? If you've got some leftovers, then you can throw it in a pasta, make a nice marinara and spread it a bit further.
Yeah, definitely. You can't go past a nice marinara mix.
Excellent, David. Well, have a great Easter. We will touch base with you a little bit later on because it will turn crazy town here, won't it?
Yeah, we're expecting a big day, so come on out.
Well, speaking of a big day, all the market holders here are up for a massive day, guys, as we know. Hundreds, thousands of people will come through the doors of the central markets. Now, I've been let in on a little secret. I've been inducted into the inner sanctum, the belly, the guts of the central markets, because every morning here before a long weekend, a group of stall holders, they get together and they have what you call a little bit of a heart starter. I'm not talking coffee, I'm talking the hard variety, liquor. So it was rude for me not to join in. I was very lucky to be able to record this. I have evidence of it. Take it away. I'm in the Adelaide markets, but I'm not going to tell you where yet. The doors haven't opened, but this is a bit of a secret before they do, because it is one of the busiest weekends heading up. So how did the good folk here get through the weekend? With a little bit of a heart starter. Not naming names, what have we got here?
A little baby Jamison.
And why do we do this?
Just to start the day, wake us up a little bit and help us get through everything we have to get through in the next, how many hours? Well, we've been here for about 5 hours already. Yeah. So this is like lunch.
All right, well, be rude not to. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Cheers!
Hoppa!
Wow, Jade, how you going?
Ticking along, woo!
Yeah, excellent. I thought you had a little bit of extra pep in the step this morning.
So, Jade, it was Jamison's whiskey you were drinking.
Yes, it was. So how beautiful is that tradition? I love it. So 10 of the blokes come together on the quiet, very, very quiet, and have a little bit of a nip, just as a little bit of a kickstarter to get through the day. And then they all get together at about 2 o'clock and finish the bottle.
Well, I mean, you know, it was good enough for the AFL. We can have a bit of covert substance abuse here at the Central Market too, I would have thought. But I don't know how they do it though. Like, you know, it's true. Having been here for 5 hours, it is sort of technically lunchtime. But you know, they've got another more than 12 hours ahead of them. Like we heard, Angelakis are going to be open till 7 o'clock. It's a long day to get through if you've been doing Jamisons for breakfast, surely.
It was a teeny tiny little nip.
Okay,
that's what they all say.
All right, thank you, Jade.
Well, Jade, I can't wait to hear the rest of the program. If you've still got the bottle with you, it's going to be very entertaining.
I love you.
You're my best mate.
We'll check in with Jade over the course of the morning, which should be a lot of fun.
Exactly right. And then she'll check in after the show's finished.
That's right. It'll be
to the Betty Ford Clinic.
A welfare check. 15 minutes to 7. If you've got a morning, you know, it might be a heart starter, but it might be a ritual to get you going each morning, like they have at the Central Markets ahead of a long weekend. Let us know. We've got a $100 faster pasta voucher to give away. Could be the morning shot of espresso. Could be a dip down in the the ocean on a cold morning? What do you do as a routine or something special to get you going in the morning? Let us know. 8223 is the number. You can text us on the Dunston's text line. Why wait? The range is in stock now for immediate delivery. Dunston's, easy to do business with. Tessa from Baraka says, hopefully no drug and alcohol testing at 5AA today. Don't worry, we did the pre-test.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Anyone who's off sick today was, they got the word.
Well, we've showed up.
World's best practice.
Actually, you had a day off about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
all about
particularly entertaining weekend. That's I just thought.
Mate, the idea of you doing any of that, seriously, just. I'd be stunned and amazed.
You know what the best part would be? I think I'd kill the drug trade because it would instantly become uncool. People are like, you know why? I used to think this was edgy, but
that's
Goodings
right.
is doing it now.
Trying to find out Donny Osmond likes your favourite cocktail. You think, hang on a minute. Never drink margarita again.
All right, let's check traffic. When the UV's 3 and above, cover up, use sun protection. Stay sun smart. Download the
You're
Sun
too
Smart
hard
app.
on yourself.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. A few roadworks to look out for today. That's about it, really, which is excellent. Really nice run into the long weekend. You'll find some activity at Old Noarlunga, Victor Harbour Road near Main South Road, also at Pennington, Addison Road near Hodgman Road. Started to get busy, Port Road Expressway at Port Adelaide. And we've got cameras this morning, Gage Street, Firle, and Goodwood Road at Kennelite Gardens. Shell Card customers in South Australia can use their Shell Card at all 23 Liberty service stations across the state. Visit shellcard.com.au/fuel finder for your nearest station. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Hey, you in the car. If your next service is due, just remember that Mawson Lakes Mazda has your back. We'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash, and your breakfast or lunch is on us. Your car gets the love too, with our state-of-the-art service centre brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, we'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Get great value hands down this Easter at Coles. With our Coles Australian MSC certified thawed raw banana prawns from the deli, just $15 a kilo. Save $5. Only at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday, April 2. Available at deli counter stores only.
Whether you're gathering round the telly or round the oval, footy's always better with Macca's, the official partners of the Footy Festival AFL Gather Round.
This is going to be massive all next week, thanks to our great mates at Macca's. We're giving you the chance to win a $5,000 money can't buy experience to the Port Adelaide v Essendon match Friday night at our beloved Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, how about this? Talk about getting there in style. You'll be heading to the match via zipline across the Torrens from the Macca's Footy Festival at Gather Round. Then you can experience exclusive pre-game viewing by the boundary line during the team warm-ups before you settle into the game.
So tune in to us for your opportunity to win from next Tuesday, all thanks to our great mates at Macca's.
Adelaide, get pumped to Gather Round. All thanks to Macca's, official partners of AFL Gather Round.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Whether it's the latest Samsung Galaxy S24 or the latest Apple iPhone 15, Harvey Norman has you covered. Head in store to sign up to a new up to $69 a month, 24-month SIM-only plan. And you'll get unlimited calls and texts to standard numbers and 100 gigabytes of data for use in Oz. Plus, you'll receive an $800 Harvey Norman gift card when you sign up. Tell them I sent you and you'll score a further $100 gift card. That's $900 towards your new phone. With a deal this good, there's some fine print. Minimum plan costs $1,656 over 24 months. Maximum of 5 gift cards per account. Recontracts and rate plan changes excluded. Plan cancellation fees apply. See in store for details.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you. Ray White Business Sales. Business people selling businesses. Go on, touch base, search RWC Business Sales.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Coming up after 7 this morning, we'll take you through a wrap of the morning stories. Got a text from someone about the situation in Alice Springs where an extraordinary curfew has been called into place following what was essentially a riot. There's no other word for it. We're going to talk about that after 7. The mayor, you'll hear from the mayor. He's exasperated, the poor guy.
He's an Indigenous bloke as well, and he's just put his hand up like a lot of the female elders I saw last night watching it on the national news services saying this is just completely unacceptable. And, you know, you wonder whether we've got our own sort of micro versions of this at the moment in places like Ceduna with some of the dramas that we've documented there. But, yeah, pretty sad that it gets to a point for any part of Australia needs a curfew.
We'll be talking about that after 7. Also, Matt Abraham is going to join us. We finally have a result in the Dunston by-election. He will have broken it down to its component parts, all the minutiae. We're looking forward to chatting with Matt for Spin of the Week after 7:30. And Dan Houston a little bit later in the morning, head of Port's Clash this weekend. All right, let's head to the Weather Bureau because the forecast all important for the Easter long weekend. Simon Timke has it in his hands. Simon, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Morning, David.
So will take us through the whole weekend?
Yeah, look, for today, sunny day for Adelaide. Just looking at the satellite picture, a little bit of low cloud over the eastern slopes of the Mount Lofty Ranges, but over the western side, the city side, clear skies. Expecting a maximum of 27 degrees for the city, currently sitting on 16.3, just a bit above our overnight minimum, which was 15.1 at about 6:15. As we move into the long weekend, conditions warm up a little bit and the sunshine continues. Friday sunny and 29, Saturday sunny 31. We'll see a little bit of cloud develop in the second half of the long weekend, but should remain dry for Sunday with a little bit of cloud around at times, 28. And then Monday, mostly cloudy day, I think, with a slight chance of a shower, and a little bit cooler, 25 degrees. And that slight chance of a shower continuing into Tuesday and Wednesday, and temperatures a little bit lower too, 23 for Tuesday, 22 for Wednesday.
Sensational, Mark. Well, you have a great weekend, mate. Thank you, Simon. Sorry, not Mark Anlake, Simon Timke. We'll have a great weekend, Simon.
Thanks a lot, guys. Hope you have a great Easter too.
Thank you.
All right, let's head over to SAPOL. Senior Constable Matt Brown joins us. Matt, there was a stabbing at Port Adelaide last night. What's happened?
That's right, Will. Just before midnight, emergency services were called to Quebec Street after reports of a stabbing. When crews arrived, the suspect had left the scene, but they located a male youth with non-life-threatening injuries to his hand and back. The victim was conveyed to hospital, and the victim and suspect are known to each other, so investigations are continuing to locate the suspect. So anyone who may have witnessed the incident is asked to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
And Matt, obviously today is one of the biggest days on the roads for the year. A lot of people trying to get away to Yorks or down to Mount Gambier, Robe, wherever for the weekend. Everyone needs to just stay calm and be considerate.
Exactly right, Dave. Of course, this year our campaign is called Keeping It Sweet on the Road. So we're urging travellers to take extra care on the road this Easter, and it will coincide with the statewide traffic operations of Operation Safe Holidays Easter and Operation Stop Drink Drug Driving. So they'll be running from Thursday the 28th of March to Monday the 1st of April. And as thousands of South Aussies hit the road to travel to the regions, just remember to keep it sweet on the road. Over the past 5 years, 7 lives have been lost and 43 people have suffered serious injuries over the Easter long weekend in crashes, so mostly in country SA. So we urge everyone to do their part to ensure a fatality-free long weekend. Of course, that might involve having multiple drivers in the car, taking frequent rest stops, getting out and stretching your legs, that sort of thing. Always driving to the conditions as well, even though, as we just heard, it's going to be pretty nice weather over the Easter long weekend. And also planning a safe route to your destination and back home again. Of course, there's going to be extra traffic. Maybe leave an hour early than you normally plan. And, keep it sweet on the road this year.
I like that slogan. It's good. It doesn't have that sort of punitive tone that a lot of slogans do. It's more just, tap into your inner Dalai Lama and adopt a Zen-like state behind the wheel. It's a good one, Matt.
Absolutely, and yes, that's right. Need a bit more namaste behind the wheel, or
absolutely. Now you're talking.
That's right. Oh, excellent. We have a great weekend, Matt, to you and everybody at SAPOL, particularly the many coppers will be out there working as well, while the rest of us bludge.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to you, and hope you guys have a good Easter too.
Cheers, mate.
Good on you, Matt. Senior Constable Matt Brown from SAPOL. We're heading to the US shortly to chat with Miley Hogan. Well, hopefully she's very busy covering this Baltimore Bridge story. So if we can get her, we'll check in, because they've got there's the equivalent of a black box on these ships that has been obviously recovered. The ship was still floating. That shed some light on the power outage, where it looks like the ship's flashing its lights, but it's them trying to turn the engine back on, essentially. So they lost steering
just before it hits the pylon.
That's right. They lost the rudder. They just couldn't manoeuvre it. Well, or at very least, that's what the preliminary investigations are beginning to tell us about this tragedy.
Just extraordinary. Yeah, one thing I reckon, and I'm going to touch on it in a piece I'm doing for the Sunday Mail this weekend. Working in talk radio as we do, there's something particularly telling about unsolicited texts. By unsolicited texts, I mean the texts where you and I aren't swinging from the rafters about something. We're just covering something, we're talking about something, and you just get text after text after text. In the context of Chris Bowen in particular, it just seems politically inept. Floating the idea of, we're going to make some changes to cars, we're not really sure what they are yet. Well, you're just getting mountains of texts about that from caravanners and tradies. But today, the AFL, not even 7 o'clock yet, we have had close to 100 text messages through about the drug policy.
Yep.
And funny, just talking to Sapol, big message from them about drug driving, totally unacceptable. They're having a big blitz about it this weekend. The mollycoddling, keep it on the down low philosophy of the AFL, it's genuinely outraged people. And there are so many people who are putting it in the sort of familial context. People like Ezekiel, who says, boys, what message does the AFL drugs policy send to kids? Come play in the AFL, you'll be able to do as many illegal drugs as you like and no one will ever find out about it.
Seems to be the contract.
It's crazy.
Darcy's called in on this issue. Darcy, good morning to you. You there, Darcy?
The mind baffles, because if you're a truck driver, you're pulled over the coals. If you're a miner, you're pulled over the coals. There's no protection. You got to clock your penalty, and that's it. You're a big boy and big girl, and you've done it. You got to cop it. But if you're kicking a red ball around 1 day a week, it seems like you gift it.
Yeah, it's a really good point, mate. There's a text we got earlier too. Now, this policy, what is it? So it's 2024. This policy's been in place for 19 years, which means it was in place during 2005, 2006. When West Coast were beaten by the Swans in the first grand final and then won the subsequent year. A policy like this helps explain how the drug culture at West Coast can become so endemic and so damaging, and how a bloke like Ben Cousins... And what favours did it do Ben Cousins in the end?
Yeah.
Did him no favours at all.
Care.
He ended up popping up on your channel, Will, in that pitiable doco where the guy was literally shaking from having drug-related hallucinations. The fact that this policy let him behave that way for donkey's years, and it was only when his whole life came completely crashing down and he's running around the streets of Perth with his shirt off, howling at clouds, that it became apparent to everyone, this guy's actually genuinely got a really big drug problem.
Yeah. Well, remember, it was always said he never failed a drug test.
Well, he probably didn't.
Well, yeah, failed just in
not a proper one.
Failed in the AFL's context it takes on a very different meaning now.
But for him,
yeah, how is he served by it?
It means you think you can get away with it because your career's not under threat. You just miss the odd game.
Absolutely. All right, 2 minutes to 7. 5AA News is coming up. And we're going to take you through a wrap of the morning stories, including you can hear from some of the key players on that drugs issue because there's so much feedback coming through on the Dunston's text line. We will get to more of that too, I promise you, very, very shortly. Stick around. 5AA News time. Back in a moment.
Baby, here I am. I'm a man on the scene.
Kia's most awarded SUV just got better. Get ready for the new, refined 7-seat Kia Sorento. Now with a dual 12.3-inch panoramic display and Kia Connect technology. Visit kia.com.au to find out more.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Hi, I'm Steve Wormald from Walco Liners and Covers out of Paraka. We're a manufacturing business. Well, I think, someone my size in business, you probably think not to advertise or don't advertise, which is about the worst thing you can do. If you're starting up or if you need more work, you've got to get out there and advertise some way. Radio, it's a very personal, intimate conversation you can have. If you throw it over to the AA creative team to structure an ad, you'll get suggestions when to run it, how to run it, and it's surprisingly affordable. It's not what you think it probably is.
To get your message out there and grow your business, visit 5AA.com.au and hit the Advertise with Us link for more information.
Local news and information first. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Sunny and 27 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Graham Goodings.
Chipped windscreen? Complete Windscreens can repair it from just $99. Look for the big red koala.
Police are investigating a stabbing at Port Adelaide. Senior Constable Matt Brown says they were called to Quebec Street just before midnight.
When crews arrived, the suspect had left the scene, but they located a male youth with non-life-threatening injuries to his hand and back. The victim was conveyed to hospital, and the victim and suspect are known to each other, so investigations are continuing to locate the suspect. So anyone who may have witnessed the incident is asked to contact Crime Stoppers.
AFL insiders have revealed around 100 players have immunity from a three-strike drug policy. Several clubs are being accused of off-the-books drug testing, telling players to fake an injury when they have drugs in their system. Sports physician Dr. Peter Larkins says the league's drug policy has always been controversial and open to manipulation.
So the issue comes down to it became something that was manipulated, what I call the naughty boy group. The guys who were repeat offenders could bypass the system. This is where the flaw comes in.
The man jailed for life for the murder of Stephen DeCosa has been granted bail after spending 4 decades behind bars. Derek Bromley was jailed in 1984 for DeCosa's murder, but has always denied he committed the crime. The parole board has ruled he is not a risk to the community. A $1 billion solar program is being established as part of a plan to boost the nation's renewable energy industry. Federal politics reporter Zach De Silva.
Australia has more solar panels per household than anywhere else in the world, but just 1% of those are manufactured here. In a bid to change that, the Prime Minister is heading to the New South Wales Hunter, traditionally coal industry heartland. There, Anthony Albanese will announce a new program aimed at boosting the number of solar panels made in Australia. The $1 billion Solar Sunshot scheme will provide grants and subsidies across the entire supply chain, from raw materials through to glass, wafers and new research.
SAPOL will be running 2 road safety campaigns this Easter. Mel Usher has details.
SAPOL want a fatality-free Easter long weekend. Operation Safe Holidays and Operation Stop Drink Drug Driving start today and will run through till Monday. They'll be targeting high-risk behaviours, including the Fatal 5. Over the past 5 years, 7 lives have been lost and 43 people seriously injured over the Easter long weekend, mostly in regional South Australia. Drivers are reminded to be patient, drive responsibly, plan journeys ahead of time, drive to the conditions, take breaks every 2 hours, and be conscious of fatigue.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Good morning, Tom Wren.
And a very good morning to you as well, Graham. We're going to start with footy. Changes are forecast for the Crows ahead of tomorrow night's big clash against Fremantle in Perth as they look to break their duck and get their first win of the season. Port Adelaide, meantime, will be without Jason Horne-Francis for at least one more week as he recovers from a hamstring injury. And some good news for the Power with defender Alia signing a 2-year extension, which means he'll remain at Alberton until at least the end of 2026. And round 3 gets underway tonight with a grand final rematch between Brisbane and Collingwood at the Gabba. Both sides, incredibly, still looking for their first wins of the season. Let's go to cricket. South Aussie Travis Head has played a big role in helping the Sunrisers Hyderabad record the biggest ever score in an IPL T20 match. They smashed an incredible 3 for 277 from their 20 overs, with Head blasting 62 from only 24 balls, which included 9 fours and 3 sixes.
That will be 50 for Travis Head. The fastest 50 in Tata IPL for SRH. Just 18 deliveries.
Audio there thanks to Fox. That record, though, didn't last long as one of Head's teammates, Abhishek Sharma, then reached his half-century in only 16 balls. The Sunrisers ended up winning that match against the Mumbai Indians by 31 runs. And briefly elsewhere, round 4 of the NRL will kick off tonight with the Sydney Roosters hosting the Penrith Panthers. And Game 4 of the NBL Grand Final Series will tip off tonight between the Tassie Jack Jumpers and Melbourne United. The Jack Jumpers leading the best of 5 series 2-1 and needing only one more win to clinch the title. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
When you cover things, they last longer. Same goes for you. Save your skin. Download the SunSmart app.
G'day there, Elizabeth South. Blackout affecting lights at Phillip Highway near Hogarth Road, slowing things up. Works at Carindilla this morning, Marion Road near Sir Donald Bradford Drive, and also busy at Old Noongar for works, Victor Harbour Road near Main South Road. You find cameras, Darley Road Paradise, Edward Street, Melrose Park, and a little busy at the moment too, Porter Expressway at Port Adelaide. The King Living Autumn Sale is on now. Save up to 50% on selected Australian Design Award-winning furniture. Sale on now. Visit the King Living Keswick showroom today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA Easter forecast. Sunny today, 27. Good Friday, tomorrow, sunny, 29. Saturday, sunny, 31. Sunday, mostly sunny, 28. And Easter Monday, cloudy and 25. Right now in Adelaide, it's 15. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Love your outdoor adventures? Well, you'll love Road Tech Marine's 20% off Easter Saturday one-day only sale. That's 20% off nearly everything store-wide. 20% off outdoor and camping. 20% off boating and marine. 20% off portable power. 20% off lighting and accessories. And 20% off plumbing and maintenance. It's on this Saturday with 20% off nearly everything. Hurry, the Road Tech Marine sale is on this Saturday for one day only. While stocks last, exclusions apply. See online and in-store for details.
Shopping should be exciting, not dull. An adventure, not a chore. And fresh, not routine. So experience something new at Newton Central with Drake's, Serenity Hair & Co, Fandy Scissorhands, Terry White Chemist, Glitter and Polish Nail Salon, and many more. Including the brand new Séjour Club, an independent boutique with one-of-a-kind handcrafted apparel and jewellery from 2 local designers. Want something new in your life? Choose a new local. Choose Newton Central, Gorge Road, Newton.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Ray White Business Sales. Business people selling businesses. Go on, touch base, search RWC Business Sales.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
8 minutes after 7, broadcasting live to you from the Adelaide Central Market, which is alive and up and running on this Easter Thursday. It is. What do you always say? It is the biggest shopping day of the year, or is it the second biggest?
The week before Christmas is bigger, but Easter's huge as well. I was just talking to one of the guys from Cons, one of my favourite smorgasbord places in here. They've always got the prosciutto and the jamon and the capicola and everything. It's all pre-sliced and it's all sitting there on paper. And if you get friends coming over for dinner, you just get it and you just put it straight on the table. It looks excellent, tastes great. But they're bracing themselves. They reckon it's going to be massive, and it's got already now at 7 o'clock, just after 7 o'clock. There are people coming in with their trolleys. I just saw Liz and Neil Fletcher, some of my old neighbours from Mitchell Park. Hadn't seen them for donkey's years. Nice to see them. Used to live just down the road from us with Mum and Dad, and they're in here bright and early, as are a lot of people. There's a lot of city workers who are over there having breakfast at Zoomers and Atlas. But yeah, if you have got a shop planned and you're ready to drop everything, get in now because you can beat the rush.
All right, let's head to the US to start our news wrap of the hour. David Woyward for 7 News is on the line. David, there's been some developments overnight with regard to the cargo ship that spectacularly crashed into the bridge in Baltimore.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, look, that search and retrieval mission is still ongoing at the moment in that river in Baltimore, in the port of Baltimore there. After this spectacular crash, and we've all seen the pictures by now, that ship, the Darley, it was fully loaded with all those containers just running into one of those key pylons of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, and it is just absolutely folded like a school project. It has gone down in a matter of seconds. Today we're hearing from the Transport Secretary, Peter Buttigieg. He has said quite simply that America will rebuild this bridge, but it's going to be a very long and arduous process, that it's going to take some time, and it's certainly going to take a lot of money. And the Biden administration will be leaning on Congress to actually help fund this project as well. But for those families that have now been caught up in this, of course, there are 6 people missing, presumed dead at this stage. You've got to understand that the water in that river is absolutely freezing right now. It's an incredibly tough wait for them. those workers, they are American, but they are all from other countries. They are Mexican, from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. So their families have been coming up to the United States to try and get a little bit of a read on the situation, and of course hoping for some good news as well, but that's not forthcoming at this stage.
Tell you what, that country would grind to a halt without all the borderline free Mexican labour and Latin American labour it gets, and all those poor people who get vilified as the ugly face of immigration. But they're always doing the crappy jobs. If you're going to find someone in the middle of a bridge fixing potholes at 1:30 in the morning, London or Bricky, some guy from Mexico City. Also, David, the America being such a litigious society, the legal ramifications from all of this are going to be fascinating, aren't they? I mean, it sounds like clearly there was a serious mechanical fault with the ship. The ship's operators did everything they could to alert the Coast Guard, to avert the catastrophe that inevitably did occur. But when the dust settles from this, there could be massive court cases arising from it in terms of negligence. Had the boat been checked properly? Could more have been done to stop it? It could turn into a lawyer's picnic.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's been really interesting to hear the White House sort of skirt around those issues at the moment, but certainly not ruling them out. They know that they will have avenues for all of that type of action right now. But right now it is up to those investigators and those Transport Safety Board investigators. They have boarded the ship today. They have interviewed the 21 crew on board. They have got hold of the black box. They have been interviewing a lot of people on the port as well, associated with the preparation of the Dali before it actually set off. So they are still in those very early stages, but as you say, if there is liability found here, you can bet your bottom dollar that the US government will chase whoever is responsible for that actual money, because they have a huge bill themselves right now if they are to rebuild that bridge.
Yeah. Absolutely. David, thank you for all that. David Warwood for 7 News. You'll see his excellent reporting on 7 News from 6 o'clock tonight. The story, and as you correctly pointed out, David, in the first hour of the program, we got about 100 texts probably. I think 95 of them, if we got 100, were on the AFL drug testing saga at the moment. The latest development on that front, if you're just joining us and waking up on this Thursday morning, is Mick Warner, who broke the story originally and had been reporting on the Andrew Wilkie speech to Parliament that shone a light on this whole saga, is now reporting there is about 100 current players. This is not 100 players over the 19-year journey of the illicit drugs policy of the AFL, but 100 current players who have been granted secret immunity from the three-strike drugs policy. Club insiders, according to Mick Warner's report in the Herald Sun and Advertiser this morning, have revealed players who register a positive drug test in the days before a game are advised to fake a minor injury to avoid tests on game day. The most extraordinary thing I think about this is the AFL, and Andrew Dillon said this directly yesterday in his press conference, the CEO, they're unapologetic. They didn't come out and deny this went on. They said, this, not only does this go on, this is our policy, and we think it's a world's best practice. I think that where this story goes to from here will largely be dependent on Sports Integrity Australia's investigation. That's where I think the AFL as a body can... They're going to cop a lot, and I think this might do commercial damage to them. It's done, I think, incredible reputational damage to them already. But there could be another layer to this when it comes to taxpayers' funding, or indeed how long this saga drags on. If Sports Integrity Australia, who work on behalf of WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, says this is not standard practice, this is not allowable, this is a dodge, this is a cheat, this is a cover-up. If they say that, then this is huge for the AFL.
Well, I mean, the thing too, because there's such a cheat by jowl relationship between the AFL and the taxpayers. I mean, what are we spending on gathering around? 80 million? 60 to 80 million over 4 years? The people of Tasmania, they're on the hook for, well, depending on who you listen to, could be $1 billion.
Yeah.
And the AFL was sort of saying, look, we want that. Now, I'm not saying that you punish the good athletes and all of us who love our national game by saying, well, they can go and get stuff, we're not giving them a cent, we're not upgrading anything, we're not holding any unique and special events, excellent events like Gather Round. But where it can become an issue is if the policy gets shot down in flames by the drug authorities, then it will kick, because Albo was trying to dodge it yesterday, and I think rightly, he's saying, look, It's not up to me. He said it's not my job as Prime Minister to check the bona fides of AFL players.
In fact, here he is. Have a listen.
I have a big job. My job is not to, on that job description, isn't the control of the Australian Football League.
Where it does become a problem, though, is if there's this damning finding, which is eminently foreseeable, and then it becomes a question of is the government how a government's going to deal with the AFL that's been roundly condemned over its drug policy.
Well, and there's a legitimate question then would be asked, do any other codes do this? And if the answer is no, you'd have to suggest, well, that would go to the financial capacity of the AFL to run its own concurrent clandestine drug testing policy. And if that's the case, well, then it's a reasonable question to ask, are taxpayers underwriting the capacity of the league to do that?
Yeah, totally.
Then they are, I think, well and truly stuffed. Still so many texts coming through on this story. We'll get to more of that. We'll get to more of that in just a moment. Did get text too in the first hour on the situation in Alice Springs, which has deteriorated into something that is it's devastating. This should be the biggest story in the country at the moment. The Northern Territory has imposed a youth curfew for 2 weeks for all people under the age of 18. A 2-week curfew for people over the age of 18 between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. due to riots which took place throughout Alice Springs on Tuesday. Some of the videos that came out are absolutely extraordinary. Doors and windows being kicked in, people taking refuge in the pub. The Chief Minister yesterday announced the curfew, as I said, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. for 14 days, including this long weekend. The problem began with a funeral that was held for an 18-year-old who died joyriding around in a stolen vehicle. Geez, his 8 mates sound like Chalmers too. They fled the scene, left him there to die. And then now they've gone and paraded through town, creating all sorts of issues. Have a listen to the Mayor, and beyond just his words, have a listen to the exasperation in the Mayor's voice talking about the issues that Alice Springs faces at the moment.
That is the Prime Minister's job, to make sure that we're all safe. As I've said, if the Northern Territory Government can't ensure my safety, then another level of government has to step in.
So that's Matt Peterson there, the Mayor of Alice Springs, saying the NT government can't handle this. This is beyond them now.
I tell you what, though, I think what the Mayor said is true, but crikey, I mean, what's Albo meant to do? He's meant to run the AFL, he's meant to run Alice Springs.
Yeah.
There's got to be a degree of personal responsibility here, and part of it involves getting off the PISS, doesn't it? Like, just the link between grog and violence in these communities is just appalling. And, I have not been party political about this, but the person whose words are ringing in my ears is our Police Commissioner, Grant Stevens. We asked him after the Sejuna issue blew up about a month ago, when Peter Dutton had come out and said, well, we did have a cashless welfare card there. Grant Stevens, who is the most politically neutral, straight down the line bloke you could find, he said, in SAPOL's view, these cards played a role. Why keep extending unfettered and unquestioned welfare to people who demonstrably can't handle their money because they blow it all on booze and drugs? And these funerals, I mean, that's been the issue in Sejuna. The population of the town has swelled massively because there were 4 funerals, and some of them were as long as 6 months ago.
Well, I think that's what Rowan Ramsey told us, didn't he? The outgoing member for Grey. These are where all the problem starts.
I'm not pretending that it's easy, but it does seem to be that giving people an armchair ride through the welfare system when their behaviour is demonstrably appalling doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, it doesn't incentivise good behaviour, that's for sure. 19 after 7. We are live from the Adelaide Central Market this morning. Matt Abraham is here. We're joining us after 7:30. Jade Robrin is also with us, and she's walking the stalls of the market this morning to
looking for more drinks,
looking for more secret societies and so forth. Morning to you again, Jade.
Looking for something to soak up the drinks, and I'm at stall 45 where I've got Kiara from Dough, and you guys are famous for your hot cross buns, and they do look absolutely beautiful. How many are you going to sell over the weekend?
Over this weekend, probably near 10,000.
That's a lot of hot cross buns. Now tell me, they've got a special glaze on the top of them. What makes you all so special?
They do. They're always golden and glazy, and we always try to perfect the recipe every year. They're full of raisins, currants, cranberries, sultanas, just all the goodness.
Cranberries, is that a new thing?
It's a little secret. Not overly new for us, but yeah, it's what makes them special for sure.
And you cook them right here on premises, is that right?
We do, yes. We've got a production kitchen where everything is house-made.
What time did you start this morning?
I started at 5, but our poor bakers started last night probably dinner time.
And have gone all the way through?
Yeah, all the way through. They'll be heading home soon to start again for Saturday.
Alrighty, so hot cross buns are the go-to, of course, over Easter. Now, I'm one of those people that as soon as it ticks over Christmas and they hit the shelves, I jump in and buy them. I'm obsessed with hot cross buns and tend to have quite a few leftovers. So have you got a recipe, a tip for those folk that may not get through all their hot cross buns over the Easter weekend?
Yeah, that's always the case. We tend to overbuy since it's such a delicacy at this time of year. Bread and butter pudding definitely goes a long way with our hot cross buns, as well as just keeping them frozen and reheating them with some beautiful butter.
Good idea. Wax them in the freezer. So, all right, now, not only have you got the hot cross buns, you've got all these other delicious croissants, beautiful banana bread. We've got some Portuguese tarts. And then over there, I'm eyeing off the Nutella donuts, which my kids would smash for breakfast this morning, but also bread. So if you've got some yummy prawns, I love, grabbing some prawns, some vinegar, chucking it in between two pieces of, bread, making a prawn sanger. What bread would you recommend?
Everything here is sourdough, so you really can't go wrong with the traditional white sourdough loaf. It's just beautifully fluffy and crunchy and all of the good things.
Beautiful. Well, happy Easter. Thank you so much. Guys, you know when you're told to sell a house and you either brew some coffee or get some freshly baked bread? That's what it smells like. Just delicious. My tummy's rumbling, and I'm going to bring you guys over a special delivery so we can have a lovely brekkie together.
Oh, on you, Jade.
Now you're talking. Jade Robberin, who you can watch along on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream. We don't have smell-o-vision on the live stream, but I felt like I could smell it just watching that then. That was spectacular
There
work.
was this amazing sort of garlic prawn smell too about 20 minutes ago. It's just like there's so much good stuff for all your olfactory senses here.
We're going to
nasal.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll check traffic first. Olfactory.
What does that even mean?
And then in a moment, Ryan Fitzgerald's going to join us to get you some help for your footy tips this long Easter weekend. When the UV's 3 and above, cover up, use sun protection, stay sun smart and download the SunSmart app.
Thanks, Will. At Elizabeth South, a blackout affecting lights on Phillip Highway near Hogarth Road. Slow for works at Glenelg North, Anzac Highway near Pine Avenue, speeds at 40 there. Getting busy at the moment, Edwards Town, South Road near Ackland Street, speeds at 40. And slow going, the Porter Expressway, Port Adelaide. You find cameras this morning, Diagonal Road, Sturt and Edwards Street at Melrose Park. Fill up with Shell V-Power 98, the premium fuel designed to deliver greater efficiency and improve performance. It's a decision you can feel good about. Details online. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Matthew Pantelis.
Ian from Northgate on elective surgery. G'day, Ian.
Yeah, g'day, Matthew, and thank you so much for taking up the fight. In any job, key performance indicators are critical. If you can't do your basic job, you shouldn't be doing your job. Politicians on both sides are to blame.
Matthew Pantelis.
My daughter is a nurse. She comes home exhausted.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Nothing beats driving away in your brand new Mitsubishi, but choosing your brand new Mitsubishi comes pretty close. Thanks to the team at Agostino Mitsubishi with over 35 years experience in excellent service. Don't miss their Good to Go giveaway. Purchase a 2023 Eclipse or Outlander to receive a $1,000 fuel card. Purchase a 23 Triton or Pajero to receive a $2,000 fuel card. Hurry into Agostino Mitsubishi Nailsworth or their new state-of-the-art Agostino Mitsubishi Mawson Lakes.
The only thing better than Aldi's Aussie white seedless grapes, now only $3.49 per kilo, is having someone feed you those grapes. Faster, whatever your name is. It's Ago, sire. Aldi, good, different.
The Fish Factory want you to wish you all a safe and happy Easter, and if fresh seafood is always a feature of your Easter feast, well, make sure you check out the Fish Factory.
The Fish Factory process their fish direct from the fishing boats. You can't get fresher fish unless you eat it on the boat.
And it's crayfish season too, so buy it live or get it freshly cooked in the shop. There's SA West Coast oysters, freshly open on the premises, and SA King prawns, cooked or green.
And for the barbecue, there's whole fish like barramundi, kingfish, Atlantic salmon and more. If you're short on time, just choose freshly filleted fish and frozen products.
You'll find it all at the Fish Factory, fully South Australian owned and family run for over 40 years. Visit the Fish Factory on Grand Junction Road, Athol Park, open all week, including Easter Friday and Easter Saturday. Only closed Easter Sunday and Monday.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Ray White Business Sales. Business people selling businesses. Go on, touch base, search RWC Business Sales.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Well, big weekend of footy ahead. It's time to check in with Ryan Fitzgerald to get all the tips from the Oracle himself. Fitzy, good morning to you.
Were you struggling to put your headphones on then, Will?
Sometimes the simple things are beyond me, Fitzy.
What I was listening to just before we went live to air then, I said to Pembo, you're doing too much in your career at the moment that you've forgotten the basics.
It was like...
You know what? You've got to be like the Crows. You've got to go back to the basics.
You know, funnily too, Fitzy, in a chilling Crows parallel, last year Will was really quite good at putting his headphones on.
You've got to start learning how to do that again, so the Crows start playing better and start attacking at least.
Oh my goodness! What's
Is everyone
going
else
on?
as frustrated as I am at the moment? That I think the two best passages of play that we've had in the first 2 rounds have been the last 15 minutes of the game when we're 4 goals behind. And we start taking risks and we go, we need to score. And I'm thinking to myself, why aren't we doing that during the game? We are, and I understand that there's the defensive zones of our opposition are different now, but you know what? We are at our most dangerous when we take risks, and we'll make mistakes, but we need just to get it on quickly and give our forward line a bit more of a chance instead of just bombing it long to Tom Stewart every time.
It's hard to. It was looking at the side those first 2 weeks. It's hard to fathom that this is the same team that was the highest scoring club in the AFL last year and played the most exciting brand. It's just disappeared.
Jordan Dawson said at the start of the year in an interview that they're going to focus on defence a little bit more, but then Nixie was asked about it and said, no, that's not the case at all. So I just hope we haven't gone, because the exciting thing about our group was our attacking play and taking risks and our forward line dominating. And we've got such a young side, so that's only going to get better when these kids get 50 to 80 games into them. It's going to be unbelievable, and that's what we're all excited about. I don't want to go down the St Kilda Road or the North Melbourne Road and go fully defensive like Ross Lyon and Alistair Clarkson does. And I know that there's an element that you need to do that. Look, there's optimism in me because I know that we are making a lot of mistakes at the moment, and that won't last forever. And I know that the boys will kick in at some stage, and I'm really excited when it does. You know, there's a few boys that are off at the moment, and there's been a couple of coaching mistakes that I think we have. You know, the Tom Stewart one is the obvious one. You know, if we get things like that right, I'm just worried that losing those first 2 games could cost us the 8 at the end.
This is going to be huge tonight for both sides. Lions v the Pies at the Gabba.
Unbelievable game. Like, for any supporter, or any supporter that doesn't go for Collingwood, it's like, oh my God, could they be zipping 4? And I think they will, and the only reason is because it's up at the Gabba. Brisbane need to bounce back. They've had a week off just to reassess what they need to do, but yeah, our premiers and the game style that everyone is following, it looks like they're going to be 0-4.
North v Carlton on Friday.
Carlton will win that one quite easy.
Can the Crows do it against FIVEAA in the West?
That's the only thing. I think it's going to be even sides. On paper, very even sides, but there's a huge advantage. We need to go over to WA, and Fremantle seem to be playing really well at Optus Stadium, so I'm going to say Fremantle.
Essendon Saints?
This is going to be a great game as well, but I think St Kilda will get up at Marvel Stadium.
Then the Power v the Demons. This is going to be one of the games of the round.
It's going to be a great game. Really good game. Are Port Adelaide good enough? The D's have found a little bit of form. I think they might be rocked a little bit with allegations during the week as well. I don't know if you boys have read about that. So I'm going to go Port Adelaide to beat the Demons at home.
We won't even ask you whether the Bulldogs are going to beat West Coast. Do you think... who's going to win out of Richmond and Sydney?
I think Sydney are playing the best footy. Sydney and GWS are just amazing to watch at the moment, so I'm going to go the Swans.
And then the old rivalry, Hawks v the Cats on Monday.
Yeah, this will be big. Yeah, Hawthorn they look substandard at the moment, so the Cats will win that easy.
Get on your Fitzy.
Have a magnificent Easter, boys. Thanks for having me
Get on your Fitzy. Cheers, mate.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 27 today with the 7:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
From chips to replacements, make Complete Windscreens your insurer repairer of choice. CompleteWindscreens.com.au.
Bombshell revelations reported this morning suggest more than 100 AFL players have been granted secret immunity from the league's three-strike drug policy. The AFL was forced to explain its drug testing policy following accusations by a former team doctor he performed off-the-books tests on players, and those with illicit drugs in their system were encouraged to fake an injury. Chief Executive Andrew Dillon says the policy is up to scratch.
We are unapologetic about club and AFL doctors taking the correct steps to ensure that any player who they believe has an illicit substance in their system does not take place in any AFL match, and the doctor-patient confidentiality is upheld and respected.
A youth is in hospital after a stabbing at Port Adelaide. He was stabbed in the hand and back in Quebec Street just before midnight. His injuries are not life-threatening. The victim and the offender know each other, and it wasn't a random attack. The opposition has blocked the federal government's attempts to pass tougher migration laws. The legislation would have allowed asylum seekers to be more easily deported if they are not genuine refugees or face up to 5 years in jail. Labor has accused the coalition of playing politics and compromising the nation's security, but Shadow Immigration Minister Dan Tehan says it was a botched policy.
We wanted to ensure there were no unintended consequences, like potentially it leading to more people arriving by boat. We wanted to interrogate it. They didn't allow the Australian Border Force to come to the hearings, and we wanted to be able to talk to them to make sure there were no pull factors in this.
The Liberals have conceded, handing Labor a historic win in the Dunston by-election. Anna Finizio called Cressida O'Hanlon, and David Spears called the Premier late yesterday to congratulate them on the victory. Ms O'Hanlon is the first government-backed candidate to win an opposition-held seat in a by-election in more than a century. There's been no official announcement from the ALP as yet. SAPOL wants to make sure Easter a fatality-free time on the roads. They're running not one but two road safety campaigns. 20 lives have been lost on SA roads so far this year, with 162 serious injuries. Operation Safe Holidays and Operation Stop Drink Drug Driving will run concurrently through till Monday. Have you noticed higher chocolate prices in the lead up to Easter? Rabobank data has found the price of cocoa has skyrocketed more than 200% in a year due to international supply shortages. Retail chocolate prices overall are up almost 9%. Rabo Research Associate Analyst Pia Piggott says we're heading into a third year of global deficit.
Countries like the Ivory Coast and Ghana produce up to 60% of the world's cocoa beans, and they've had a combination of agricultural difficulties such as aging trees, adverse weather, and that's been limiting supply.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Now, Tom, do you like your chalky Easter eggs?
Oh, too much. Far too much. It's going to be tough for the waistline, Graham, but we'll get through, won't we?
Well, we'll battle on.
We'll try our best. A few hot cross buns tomorrow as well. Let's start with football. Collingwood defenders John Noble and Will Hoskin-Elliott will come into the side. That's for tonight's game against Brisbane at the Gabba. Both sides are looking for their first wins of the season. Pies midfielder Steele Sidebottom will be managed and will miss the clash, while Oleg Markov has been omitted. Meanwhile, Lions co-captain Lachie Neale is one of three inclusions for Brisbane. Co-captain Dane Zorko says the team is versatile.
Happy to play any position, and the coach knows that. That's one thing that we brought in under Fraser's tenure, is that everyone can play multiple positions and be really comfortable in doing that.
The teams for the Crows and Port Adelaide, meantime, will also be released tonight ahead of their respective matches this weekend. Well, Tim Tszyu is determined to shake the Vegas curse that has plagued Australian boxers over the years. He'll be looking to pick up another world title on Sunday when he fights Sebastian Fundora. But Vegas has proved a tough place to travel over the years, with the likes of Jeff Fennick and Jeff Horn coming up short. Tszyu has told Nine's Today Show there's no Vegas curse in the Tszyu family.
Pretty cool, you know, like your name here in Vegas is it's on every wallpaper, it's on the walls of the MGM Grand. You know, you dream of these moments of in such a young age, and as a boxer, I'm finally get to live this moment.
And in his first IPL T20 match in 7 years, South Aussie Travis Head has smashed 62 off only 24 balls to help his Sunrisers Hyderabad to a 31-run win against the Mumbai Indians. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
When you cover things, they last longer. Same goes for you. Save your skin. Download the SunSmart app.
Morning there, roads looking pretty good as we head into Easter. Do have a blackout affecting lights at Elizabeth South at the moment. Phillip Highway near Hogarth Road. Bit slow for works at St Mary, South Road near Princess Parade Road. Plates in use there, speeds at 40 and sluggish to a Dry Creek on the north-south motorway to the Wingfield interchange. You find early morning cameras on the driving today. Gage Street, Firle and Goodwood Road at Kennelite Gardens. Amart's Easter sale is on now with absolutely everything on sale. Save 10 to 60% off all furniture store-wide. Stores are open late tonight, so hurry into Amart. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA Easter forecast. Sunny today, 27. Good Friday, sunny, 29. Saturday, sunny, 31. Sunday, mostly sunny, 28. And Easter Monday, cloudy and 25. Right now in Adelaide, it's 15. More news as it happens on 5AA.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Whether it's the latest Samsung Galaxy S24 or the latest Apple iPhone 15, Harvey Norman has you covered. Head in store to sign up to a new up to $69 a month, 24-month SIM-only plan. And you'll get unlimited calls and texts to standard numbers and 100 gigabytes of data for use in Oz. Plus, you'll receive an $800 Harvey Norman gift card when you sign up. Tell them I sent you and you'll score a further $100 gift card. That's $900 towards your new phone. With a deal this good, there's some fine print. Minimum plan costs $1,656 over 24 months. Maximum of 5 gift cards per account. Read contracts and rate plan changes excluded. Plan cancellation fees apply. See in store for details.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
It's Edward here from Edwardstown Mazda.
Thanks, Edward. I've got this. And it's big news.
How big?
Really big. Edwardstown Mazda have extended their sale with huge Mazda factory bonuses across a wide range of Mazdas. Plus, get a $2,000 trade-in bonus on top of your trade-in price. Only available at Edwardstown Mazda.
Wow.
I know, right? Wow.
Plays a jingle sing.
It's gotta be
Edwardstown Mazda. T's and C's apply.
Whether you're gathering round the telly or round the oval, footy's always better with Maccas, the official partners of the Footy Festival at AFL Gather Round.
And all next week, thanks to our great mates at Maccas, we are giving you the opportunity to win a $5,000 Money Can't Buy experience to the Port v Essendon match Friday night under lights at the Adelaide Oval.
You'll be heading to the match via zipline across the Torrens from the Maccas Footy Festival at Gather Round. Then you can experience exclusive pre-game viewing by the boundary line. That's during team warm-ups before you then, of course, settle into the game.
So tune in for your chance to win from next Tuesday, all thanks to our great mates at Maccas.
Adelaide, get pumped to Gather Round, all thanks to Maccas, official partners of AFL Gather Round.
Ray White Business Sales. Business people selling businesses. Go on, touch base. Search RWC Business Sales.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
21-8, speaking of Gather Round and Macca's involvement, this excellent prize that we're just talking about, we will be revealing next week. But suffice to say, if you want to win it, you're going to have to tune in from 6 a.m. and at random points during the show, there will be opportunities based on, what should we say without giving it away? Historical knowledge? Of
well,
Macca's?
I don't know. I'm not privy to any of the discussions, Will. I
thought you were around for this one a little bit.
No. Okay. I've only heard talk of it secondhand.
Well, I can say anything, and news to you as well.
As Taylor Swift said, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. I don't get invited to these meetings.
Right. Well,
but all will be revealed.
There you go.
On Tuesday.
There you go.
Mainly for me.
Tuesday next week. You can discover, along with David, what's going to be on the program. All right, coming up next, you know this bloke?
Yeah, Matt Abraham.
Yeah, Matt Abraham. All right.
out of 10 every time.
Matthew Abraham on 5AA Breakfast.
Friendly service expert advice, quality brands at great prices. That's mighty helpful. Mitre 10. Matt, I can't imagine you've ever been more excited to come in than this week when you've got booths to talk about, you've got by-election fallout, you've got spin,
Live Golf.
You've got Live Golf about just around the corner. You've got
gather round.
You've got formalised factions being debated, discussed.
Yes,
I mean, where do you? It's a smorgasbord.
Yes. Well, the Liberal Party lost Dunston. By about the final margin's going to be about 340 votes, and Stephen Marshall held it by 260 votes. No
one's changed their mind.
It didn't move by it didn't move by much at all, and it is it's going to be, I think, a watershed by-election result because it will probably lead to a new Liberal leader. Not in the next week or so, but the wheels will be set in motion on David Spears. But probably more importantly, the implications for the government. The government now has 28 seats and Liberal 14. And I think the 28 seats, 14 to the Liberal, that's half. Well, they're a long way from government. Like a long way from government. And I will think the Labor Party will now hold Dunston because Cressida O'Hanlon's got 2 years to dig herself in with, all the support of the Premier. She's already, even before it was officially conceded by Liberal Party, she was attending sort of official government functions, So she's assuming her role as perfecting the art of the noddy behind the Premier.
Did it feel to you, Matt, like the Libs and David Spears in particular were far too early to go down the path of sleeves up public self-flagellation? Because Saturday night the result looked like an utter catastrophe, and as happened in Bragg, as the postals and the pre-polls came in, the situation did improve for the Libs. But you had this weird situation where in the space of 36 hours David Spears apologised publicly for the result, confirmed that he had thought about quitting as Liberal leader, professed his admiration for the unity Labor enjoyed under Peter Malinowskis' leadership, and canvassed the introduction of a formal factional system based on the ALP within the Liberal Party. Now,
and he also said, and I've said a KC, King's Council, to look at this, to have a look at the vetting procedures, which effectively is bagging the candidate, who at that stage, Anna Finicio, was still very much in the race. You're right. There was an air of panic about his response, and it was an amateur hour response. And he could have just said, "Well, look, let's wait and see." This is still in play. The gap narrowed. Even Anthony Green, and this hasn't happened before, but Anthony Green actually rang me on Tuesday night because originally on Saturday night he had this down as an ALP gain. Looking at previous flow of preferences. As the pre-poll counts dribbled in under our crazy system, they went markedly towards the Liberal Party, quite markedly.
But isn't it weird that David Spears says these things? Because in short, what he was effectively saying was, look, let's make no secret of the fact that the South Australian Liberal Party is a complete bloody rabble. This is a disaster area. And to your point about the leadership change, it sort of makes you wonder whether, and I don't know whether he's going to get challenged or not, but when you hear that level of exasperation, he sort of comes across as the guy who's almost saying, why do I even bother? This is just stuffed. And that's not a good thing to be saying for the alternative government, isn't it?
No, I don't think it is a good thing to be saying, but I also think his colleagues are probably saying that about him. Like, why are we bothering with this? There are some professional politicians in the Liberal ranks. They don't sort of parade their wares too much because they're standing behind their leader. But I was talking to one about a week out from the election, and he said, "You watch what happened in Bragg, where on the day it was very close, and then as they counted the pre-polls, they swung by about 8% to the Liberal Party, and they won Bragg, and it's exactly what happened in Dunston. So and the Labor Party's got a lot of people like this. You've got your Mick, old war horses, your Mick Ackos, your Chris Schatz, but you've also got your Tom Coots and Tonuses and so on, people who have been reading the tea leaves for a long time, and they've got their scrutineers sitting in there, many of them who are sending me texts, and they sort of read this stuff, and so you've got to hold your nerve in a by-election. I mean, it came down to really 100 votes. The other feature of this by-election is 20% didn't vote at all.
Which is staggering.
This is incredible. So there's just over. So Labor ended up with 10,810 votes. They'll probably get a few more now, as you know they come in from Timbuktu or whatever, postal votes. And Anna Finicio got 10,465. So really, it's just 300 votes. 150 votes had to change. 20% of the electorate, 8,000 people didn't vote.
Do you know how that compares with the statewide election number, participation rate in Dunston?
Well,
because that just makes me wonder whether the votes might have been there for the Libs, they just didn't show up.
Well, one of the things that's been said is, one of the things that gets a bit of a buzz going about a by-election, even though everybody says they hate them, are corflutes. You know,
well, they're a reminder that there's something happening.
There's some. Oh, gee, I better vote.
Yeah, totally.
What seat are we in? Oh, I think we're in Dunston. Oh, I better check this out.
That's a good point.
So, nothing up. There's no sort of visual sign that there's anything happening out of the ordinary in in St Peters and Kensington and so on, and therefore, 20% didn't vote. That's a lot.
Everything about the Spears missteps post by-election, to me, feel like the political mistake that gets made where somebody feels like they have to say or do something when they don't have anything to say and do.
Yeah, totally.
So you feel like you had to come out and make a comment, and it became, well, we're all stuffed. And it was premature, because at that point it looked like a greater disaster than it ultimately was. And then the formalisation of the factions thing felt like, well, there needs to be action taken. I'm not convinced it was that action.
We have Tom Koutsotonis who put out this, I've kept this press release for posterity, but he goes through all those statements and then compares them to what the leader has said, in the months and the year previously, praising the fact that the Liberal Party doesn't have a formalised factional system as being part of its great strength. Now, I think it was Peter Malinauskas who said, is that the main takeout from the Liberal leader of this election result? And that is, we need factions.
Yeah.
What
do you think it means for Mallee, Matt? Because you look at it, and we were being super critical yesterday of the government with the cancellation of elective surgery, the fact that they still have not made significant inroads in terms of breaking ramping. On the contrary, it's actually got worse. But for a politician halfway through his first term to have such a big unfulfilled promise, and for Labor to improve on its position at a by-election where normally it's the ultimate, let's send this government a message, enough's enough, it's not good enough, you've got to try harder. It's a hugely positive message for Malinauskas, and it goes to his style, his capacity as a communicator, his likeability, that with such a big promise that he placed so much store on, people still clearly love him.
If there was another leader without all those skills, I think the Liberals would have romped in Dunston on that protest vote. But what it says to me is that people have absorbed that. They've absorbed ramping. No one likes it. The electorate doesn't like ramping, but they've absorbed it as an issue. And I don't think it would be a mistake for Labor to think that they can now ignore it. I don't think they're that dumb. They won't do that. But there's a feeling there that people have absorbed it, and they are able to win a key by-election in a Liberal seat with all that baggage. And they know now. I mean, it sets him up as Captain Unbeatable.
There's a quote that he's got that he lives by, the Premier. It's from the guy who founded the company Intel. Success breeds complacency, complacency breeds failure, only the paranoid survive. And that's his touchstone for, I'm not going to let any of this go to my head. But it'd be hard not to. It'd be hard, not so much for him, because I don't think he's that sort of bloke. But there'd be others in the party who'd be going, we got the Libs on toast.
We're laughing here.
But it looks like they sort of have.
Yeah. It is, I think, a turning point by-election for politics in South Australia. And there was Anthony Green said to me, it's not often that the rest of the nation is watching a by-election in South Australia. And they weren't watching it to see whether Liberal or Labor would get up, but they were watching it to see the impact of the Greens, quasi-teal factor here.
Yeah.
And what happens there. And, of course, the Greens, on election night, looked like they had 24% of the vote. They end up with about 19% of the vote. And, they're now going to take on Sturt. I don't think they'll win Sturt. And
they might make Labor win it.
Tom Kutsentonda said, "Oh, they're pretty cocky." Effectively, I'm paraphrasing here, for a party that finished third. What we saw in Dunston is soft liberals, inverted commas, voting for a party that despises them. Like if you've got money, or you've accumulated money off your own back, or mummy and daddy have given it to you, whatever the deal is.
You've got kids at Saints, you've got an Airbnb down at Robe.
They don't want you to have any of that, or they want you to pay more for it. They want you to have less money, they want to take money off you, and they want you to pay more for your car, for your petrol, for your gas. Well, not allowed to have gas at all. For your private school fees, the whole lot. Okay, and yet people voted for them. But their second preferences went straight to Labor, like overwhelmingly. So you've got Liberal voters voting Green and then voting Labor. And it's a bit like, bikies setting up a laundromat to wash money. You can't bring yourself to do it up front straight away. I can't bring myself to I don't want to vote Liberal, I can't bring myself to vote Labor. I know, I'm going to vote Green and then I'll vote Labor.
Yeah.
So how'd you vote? I voted Green.
Which is a recipe for Teal success in the future,
well,
potentially, if they've got want to have a look. Just to round out the conversation around participation rate in the process in Dunston. So the 2022 was about 90%, 89.7%. So 27,000 elected voters in Dunston, probably about 2,000-ish shy of how many voted in the statewide election. I think it's an interesting theory, the Corflute one. Doubtless all the political analysts will be picking over that. We might take a quick break. We'll check traffic and come back with more from Matt on the fallout from the Dunston by-election in just a moment. When the UV's 3 and above, cover up, use sun protection, stay SunSmart and download the SunSmart app.
Morning there, looking pretty good for the run-in on an Easter long weekend eve, which is great. Do have works to look out for at Elizabeth South. They're fixing the lights there due to a blackout. That's on Phillip Highway near Hogarth Road. Bit of activity at Dry Creek today. North-south motorway near the Wingfield interchange, getting slow south road at Theberton. Quite busy at the moment now, Brighton Road and Brighton, with the Camera Gate Streets at Firle. Amart's Easter sale is on now with absolutely everything on sale. Save 10 to 60% off all furniture store-wide. Stores are open late tonight, so hurry into Amart. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. We're helping life flow.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Get obsessed with the Honda SUV range at Formula Honda, Modbury and Glen Osmond. Whether it's the compact HRV, the sporty mid-sized Honda ZR-V, or the spacious CR-V. And for a limited time, new Honda SUVs come with a 7-year warranty, 7-year roadside assist, and 5 standard low-price services at $199 each. Visit Formula Honda, Modbury or Glen Osmond and test drive today. Vehicles used for a commercial purpose have a 7-year or 200,000 kilometre warranty, whichever occurs first. T's and C's at honda.com.au.
Now, you'll know that I love my local Mitre 10, or as those in the know like to call it, the other hardware store. It's my one-stop shop for all my DIY jobs, be it something indoors that needs to be fixed or out in the garden. They'll have everything you need. And look, the staff are great. They'll happily give you advice on the best products to help you get all those jobs done.
So if you're planning some home improvements or you've got some fix-it jobs to do, or maybe you just want to spruce things up a bit around the home or in the garden, it's simple. Head into your local Mighty Helpful Mitre 10.
For great prices on the right products for the job, along with helpful advice, choose the other hardware store. Mighty Helpful Mitre 10.
Struggling with your CPAP therapy? Try the world's first auto-fitting mask from Fisher & Paykel Healthcare. Respirocare Healthcare is offering the Fisher & Paykel Sleep Style device for 30% off, plus a free solo mask valued at $310. Visit one of 6 Respirocare clinics and mention this ad to redeem this offer. Respirocare Healthcare, proudly serving South Australia for 20 years. When considering whether CPAP is right for you, speak to your doctor. Always follow the directions for use. 5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Ray White Business Sales. Business people selling businesses. Go on, touch base. Search RWC Business Sales.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
5 to 8. Of course, if you're watching on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream, you'll see we're not only with the Central Markets, but Matt Abraham is with us as we pick over the Dunston by-election result. Just got a message from our Alban correspondent Dave Lloyd, who says whenever he hears Teal's success, his heart starts to flutter, and then he realises it's a politics segment, not football.
Sorry, Dave.
Teal. Any closing thoughts on Dunston that we haven't yet got to before we look at spin of the week?
Well, the fact that pre-poll votes aren't counted on the night and aren't treated as ordinary ballots is something the government says it's now going to look at urgently. It's been sitting staring at both Attorney Generals, Vicky Chapman and now Kaya Ma, since 2018 when the Electoral Commissioner said, you've got to get rid of this dopey system. I'm paraphrasing slightly. Anthony Green went to see Kaya Ma last year and said, basically he's written the legislation for him. This is all you've got to do to fix this. Because at the moment, my wife Helen and I have been having, not an argument, but a slight disagreement about this for about 3 weeks. If you vote early at a pre-poll booth, your vote goes into an envelope and they write your name on the envelope and the details. It then goes into a separate thing. It doesn't go into the general ballot box. It's seriously bizarre. You would think you'll be able to fix this with one stroke of a pen. Just treat it as though you're voting up a pay rise for MPs. Everyone will support it. It's not
They'd get on to that in record time.
And so they need to fix that. We are the only state that treats pre-polls like this.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
In Australia, and it really grinds the system to a halt.
Absolutely,
it's crazy.
All right, time for spin of the week. We're missing our sound
music.
effect. We're missing our sound
Where's
effect.
The sound effect.
All right.
Mighty,
might 10.
I know we've talked about this, but I really can't go past David Spears telling us how safe his leadership is.
My leadership is 100% secure. I won't be challenged. I canvassed my colleagues extensively over the last 48 hours, and the views were very resolute that I need to stay in the job. If I thought there was someone better to lead this party, I would step aside.
There you go. They're all duds. There's no one as good as him in the party, so they can just forget any leadership challenge. I just remind David Spears of the old saying in politics. In a leadership ballot, the only person you can trust is a person who says they're not voting for you.
Sage advice.
Yes. Well, there's a 1.4% swing to the ALP. I'm giving him 1.4 out of 10.
Excellent, Matt.
Magnificent work, Matt. Enjoy. Have a happy Easter.
Same to you.
Yeah,
Enjoy Maundy Thursday.
Yeah, and Good Friday tomorrow.
Yes, go get your feet washed somewhere today.
You can probably do that round here. Central Market. There's a pedicure joint just down the arcade, I think.
2 to 8, 5AA News is coming up. With that
oh, you meant an actual church, sorry.
Yeah. Gee, David. We'll be back with Breaking at 8 next.
The biggest threat to your business isn't your competition. It's cybercrime. Cybercrime threats impacting Australian businesses large and small continues to grow year on year. One call to one solution will put your business in a safe place and save you from the devastating consequences of cybercrime. It's the smartest, most cost-effective business decision you'll ever make. Stay safe and protected. Get in touch with One Solution. onesolution.net.au, a Platinum Telstra partner.
Nothing beats driving away in your brand new Mitsubishi, but choosing your brand new Mitsubishi comes pretty close. Thanks to the team at Agostino Mitsubishi with over 35 years experience in excellent service. Don't miss their Good to Go giveaway. Purchase a 2023 Eclipse or Outlander to receive a $1,000 fuel card. Purchase a 23 Triton or Pajero to receive a $2,000 fuel card. Hurry into Agostino Mitsubishi Nailsworth or their new state-of-the-art Agostino Mitsubishi Mawson Lakes.
Jayco's Mega Easter stock sale is now on. Hop on down for exciting deals on all MY23 Jayco dealer stock. Save across the range. There's never been a better time to jump in a Jayco. Visit Jayco Adelaide today. End soon.
It's no surprise that Alfred James Funeral Homes is there for families in their time of need. They've been doing so for over 100 years. What may be surprising is the lengths they'll go to help you pay tribute to the life journey of your loved one. A song choice that's unconventional. A eulogy that's both heartwarming and hilarious. Oh, and launching their ashes into orbit on a SpaceX rocket. Pre-plan yours with us now. Alfred James Funeral Homes, honouring lives in extraordinary ways.
At SEW Eurodrive, quality, service and delivery is entrenched in our DNA. We're the driving force in creating a competitive advantage for our customers. Visit sew-eurodrive.com.au. Driving Australian industry since 1982.
Up-to-the-minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Sunny and 27 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Graham Goodings.
Chipped windscreen? Complete Windscreens can repair it from just $99. Look for the big red koala.
Police are investigating a stabbing at Port Adelaide. Senior Constable Matt Brown says they were called to Quebec Street just before midnight.
When crews arrived, the suspect had left the scene, but they located a male youth with non-life-threatening injuries to his hand and back. The victim was conveyed to hospital, and the victim and suspect are known to each other, so investigations are continuing to locate the suspect. So anyone who may have witnessed the incident is asked to contact Crime Stoppers.
The AFL's handling of illicit drugs potentially undermines the entire world anti-doping system, according to a former employee of the Australian Sports Anti-Doping Authority. On Wednesday, the AFL said it had no issue with club doctors carrying out off-the-books testing of players for illicit drugs. Players then not lining up for a game if the drugs are still in their system. Former ASADA employee Dr. Catherine Ordway has told Today it has widespread implications.
Potentially undermines the world anti-doping system, which says that if you test positive on match day for an illicit drug like cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin and so on, then you're stood down for a significant period. If you're trying to undermine that by doing extra testing outside, then that's calling into question the whole process.
We're heading into day 2 of the 48-hour ban on elective surgery across Adelaide's public hospitals. More than 30 surgeries are expected to be cancelled today. Yesterday it was 33. The ban will end at 11:59 tonight. SA Health says the decision was made to free up hospital capacity ahead of Easter. Building more solar panels in Australia will be the focus of a new billion-dollar government program. Zach De Silva has the details.
Solar Sunshot will be a new scheme of grants and subsidies aimed at boosting local production of solar panels. The federal government will roll out $1 billion across the supply chain, from raw materials and new research through to wafers and glass. A net zero economy authority is also being established to boost investment in the sector. Right now, less than 1% of the rooftop solar panels used in Australia are manufactured here. Labor says that number needs to increase dramatically.
It's going to be a nice Easter weather-wise. Simon Timke from the Bureau says it's good news for those camping or planning outdoor activities.
Friday sunny and 29, Saturday sunny 31. We'll see a little bit of cloud develop in the second half of the long weekend, but should remain dry for Sunday with a little bit of cloud around at times, 28. And then Monday, mostly cloudy day, I think, with a slight chance of a shower and a little bit cooler, 25 degrees.
And now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
And here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Graham. It is selection night for both the Crows and Port Adelaide ahead of their round 3 matches this weekend. The Crows tackle Fremantle in Perth tomorrow night and are set to make changes following 2 disappointing performances to start the season. The Power have started with 2 wins but will again be without Jason Horne-Francis, who's out for at least 1 more week with a niggling hamstring concern. The round will begin tonight with a blockbuster grand final rematch. That's between Brisbane and Collingwood. Meantime, Sydney will look to cement its strong start to the season against Richmond at the MCG on Sunday. The Swans have been without recruit Taylor Adams as he recovers from a knee injury, and coach John Longmire is reluctant to put a date on his return.
Do some training this week and see how he pulls up. We'll sort of, we're mindful that he wasn't able to do a lot until this week, and we'll just see how he goes.
A-League matches might not be shown this weekend, according to some reports. The TV company that produces its live broadcasts has gone bust. Global Advance provides live feeds for Channel 10 and Paramount+. Aussie basketball great Lauren Jackson has been named in the extended Opal squad for the Olympics despite announcing her retirement in February. Meantime, it's a do-or-die clash tonight for Melbourne United in the NBL Grand Final Series. The Tassie Jack Jumpers lead that best-of-5 series 2-1, and a win tonight at home would secure the title. Round 4 of the NRL will kick off tonight with the Sydney Roosters hosting the Penrith Panthers. Meantime, former Wallabies captain Michael Hooper will make his long-awaited Rugby Sevens debut next weekend in Hong Kong. The 4-time John Eales medalist has been named in the 13-man squad for the 6th round of the Sevens World Series. And that's the 5AA Sport.
And now checking 5AA traffic.
When you cover things, they last longer. Same goes for you. Save your skin. Download the SunSmart app.
Morning there, looking pretty good for the run-in on an Easter long weekend eve, which is great. Do have works to look out for at Elizabeth South. They're fixing the lights there due to a blackout. That's on Phillip Highway near Hogarth Road. Bit of activity at Dry Creek today. North-south motorway near the Wingfield interchange. Getting slow south road at Theberton. Quite busy at the moment now, Brighton Road and Brighton with the Camera Gate Streets at Firle. Amart's Easter sale is on now with absolutely everything on sale. Save 10 to 60% off all furniture store-wide. Stores are open late tonight, so hurry into Amart. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA Easter forecast. Sunny today, 27. Tomorrow, sunny, 29. Saturday, sunny, 31. And Sunday, mostly sunny, 28. Then Easter Monday, cloudy, 25. Right now, it's 18. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Ray White Business Sales. Business people selling businesses. Go on. Touch base. Search RWC Business Sales.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Oh, it's a beautiful sounding Easter long weekend forecast. It's a beautiful morning this morning as we broadcast to you. Here it's a little bit cool. It's going to be a great day today, a little bit later today. We're right in the wind tunnel in the southwest corner of the markets. Beautiful spot though. You get the wafts and the sounds of the market. It's up and running and already quite busy on what is one of the busiest days of the year. Support local this Easter with extended trading hours and discover everything from local produce and hot cross buns to gifts and seafood. Jade Robin's done a wonderful job bringing you some of the colour of the market over the course of the morning. We'll check in with her again very shortly. When I haven't seen her for a few minutes, we know she's found a story somewhere. So we'll check in with her in just a few moments' time. Also, the sound off for the Care Alert Smart Dialer is on hold today because we're down here at the market. So we'll sound off again next week. And one of those magnificent Care Alert Smart Dialers will be given away. So if there's something you needed to get off your chest, just hold it for the weekend.
I have an important message, though, for people who do use the Care Alert Smart Dialer. If they have a My Aged Care funding package or the NDIS, they are able to get a free Care Alert. And a lot of people don't realise that, but they should know that if they're on the My Aged Care funding package or the NDIS, they're entitled to get a free Care Alert Smart Dialer. So that's good to know.
That is absolutely fantastic.
Even more peace of mind from the people who patented peace of mind.
The sound off will be back from next week. It's time to go breaking it out.
I got to say, when I heard this story, I didn't believe it. It's easily the most appalling example of internet scamming I've ever heard of, and it's happening right here in South Australia. I don't want to say the name of this young guy because I don't want to compound the grief that his family and friends have recently gone through. But there's a bloke who lost his life in Hallett Cove a few weeks ago. He was a beloved member of the Cove Football Club community. That's the soccer club down there in Hallett Cove, and the club and his family and his mates have all been left devastated by the young man's passing. Now, his funeral was live streamed on the Centennial Park website so that people who were working or interstate who couldn't attend to pay their respects and celebrate his life could watch it online. Now, this is where the scammers come in. There were a whole bunch of fake Facebook pages that were created saying celebrate, I'll call him Fred Blogs. A whole bunch of fake Celebrate the Life of Fred Blogs Facebook pages were created. They targeted the mourning friends of the deceased over Facebook, and they duped them with a fake link to the funeral live stream from Centennial Park. Now, what happened was that when this bloke's mates and family clicked on the fake link, they were prompted to enter their credit card details so they could watch the funeral. And of course, you know, the whole thing is a big scam, and it was so well organised. As this bloke's being laid to rest, there were people who were logging on and going, "Oh, so I've got to enter my credit card in order to watch the eulogy and watch the service." Now, it became such an issue that the Cove Football Club, and I've spoken to someone from the club who's confirmed that all of this happened, the club was forced to post a warning on its own Facebook page saying, quote, "We understand there is a fake memorial that has taken our picture of name deleted." So they went to the trouble of stealing the photograph of this poor young guy, ripping it off, and then they were adding club members to their own page in order to maximise the number of people whose credit card details they could get. It's
awful.
Genuinely
How do they know
unbelievable.
about it? How do they know it's going to be on?
Well, they must just go scouring through Facebook,
Looking for any mention of funeral or memorial or...
I tell you what, it's another feather in old Facebook's cap that they're letting this sort of thing happen. Just extraordinary. That website is all care and no responsibility. But what sort of a warped mind decides that someone's actually being, you know, laid to rest, and they see this as a money making opportunity? Just extraordinary.
All right, 11 minutes after 8. We're going to take some calls in a moment on 8223 Dan Houston will join us in a few moments as well, ahead of Port's clash with Melbourne this weekend. But before we get to that, let's head out and catch up with Jade Robran, who's roaming the markets, not in her Dutton's vehicle, the Tiguan Allspace this morning, but indeed on foot. Where are you right now, Jade?
I am on foot, pounding the pavements, eating and drinking my way through these beautiful markets. Joining me now is Franca from Fair Seafood. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm excellent. Tell us a little bit about Fair Seafood. What makes it so fair?
We are the only retailer, wholesaler in South Australia that offers 100% traceability on every single one of our products.
And is that important to people these days?
It absolutely is important. It's important to know where your food comes from, and unfortunately for us, seafood hasn't been that transparent in the past. So we're trying to change the way that is, and people are absolutely loving it.
So do you mean, you know, you're buying prawns and you think you're buying Aussie prawns, but in fact they're maybe from Thailand?
Correct. So every one of our products is labelled, even in our cabinet, is labelled with where it's caught, and we'll also tell you who caught it, when they caught it, and more importantly, when we've processed it.
You've got quite the range here, a lot from South Australia. I'm looking at these flathead fillets from Port Lincoln, but if we have a little cruise here, you've also got barramundi fillets from Humpty Doo up the top end there, and Mulloway fillets from Narang, a little bit from everywhere, KI, Port Lincoln, also New Zealand. Who goes out and finds all of this? You're obviously looking for the best of the best.
Absolutely, and look, we have a model where we are direct from the fisher, and we're only selling what they're catching. So we don't freeze our product. All of our product is fresh, other than obviously the prawns and some shellfish. But we're trying to source the best product when it's available and when it's in season.
Does it taste different?
Absolutely, it does. To have a product that's been out of the water at worst 48, 72 hours max, and then it's here available for you to purchase, absolutely you're tasting a difference.
Okay, so this one here from the top end, from Northern Territory, that's on the jetliner, the private jet, and gets sent in straight away. I mean, how quickly do you turn it around?
With the barramundi from the Northern Territory, 72 hours generally. We've got an arrangement with the agriculture grower and the company to make sure that happens, and they give us all of the information that we request, who caught it, when it was harvested, and when they've packed it for processing.
All right, well, we got Good Friday tomorrow. What is going to be on the table? What specials have you got for us today?
Look, our prices do not change for Easter. We maintain our competitive pricing through. Some retailers have been known to lift prices when it comes to Easter and Christmas. We are not that retailer. All our prices remain as they are, our seasonal pricing. Our prawns are very competitively priced, both cooked and raw, and the raw prawns in particular have just come off the boat a week ago.
Delish. Well, Frank, happy Easter. Thank you very much. Get on down. We are here at Fair Seafood, 100% traceable.
Thank you.
Good on you, Jade. Thank you for that. Let's take some calls on 8223 0000 before we take a break and chat with Dan Houston, head of the weekend's footy action. Dave in Clarence Gardens, good morning.
G'day. Earlier you had Matt on and he's talked about the by-election and that, and about people in that area, and you made the comment about them having Airbnbs down at Rove and that. I found it funny with some of my mates that are Liberal supporters who are complaining, and probably rightly so, about the ramping. But I also put it to them, how many people voted against the Liberals for Greens, not only in the by-election but the state election, simply because they brought in a land tax that affects their Airbnbs and investment properties, and they also changed the shopping hours where some of my friends have small supermarkets, and they all of a sudden had Coles and Woolies against them on a public holiday, wherein the Perth have made, good bread and butter money. So I think
that
there's
is
a lot
an
of things
excellent point,
there.
Dave. Yeah. I think, you're 100% right, mate. And I think one of the key tactical mistakes that the Marshall government made was that it looked at its traditional backers, wealthy people who were affected by land tax, some of those small business people you mentioned, and went, well, sorry, we think in a policy sense what we're going to do here makes sense anyway, and you guys have got to sort of lump it. The end result of that is those voters think, well, if you regard us as expendable, maybe we'll regard you as expendable too. And you can see why so many people in business swung around to Mallee in the backdraft of COVID, where Malinowskis got an added gold star for saying, I'm going to be a lot more hands-on when it comes to shutting down businesses than the current guy.
Great call, Dave. Thank you for that. Let's head to Paynham. Carmine, one of many who would like to comment on the AFL drug policy saga. Carmine, good morning to you.
Look, guys, with any policies that any company has or does, those policies are reviewed every 3 years to make sure that they're current and compliant. And that's what the AFL should be doing with this drug policy, because it's way backdated. It should have been, this is normal practice in any business. I have a look and see how the policy's going, review it, and change it if required.
I think the frightening thing here is, Carmine, they think it's going exceptionally well. The problem is people found out about it. 8223 0000 is the number you can text us to on the Duttons text line. Duttons Ford, why wait? The Ranger in stock now for immediate delivery. Duttons, easy to do business with. 044808 1395.
Further to your question, Will, how would scammers find out that funerals were going to be live streamed? I got a text from Andrew Rudder, writes at Channel 9. He made the good point that a lot of funeral homes advise on their websites a few days in advance of planned live streams, and that maybe the scammers are just scouring all these websites.
It's an excellent point.
It's so
there's your business horrible, model. No, there's no depth to which this scum won't stoop.
Unbelievable.
All right.
I had another really good breaking at 8. I might try to hold it till Tuesday.
Okay.
Let's just say it involves the Easter Bunny.
Oh dear.
Who we all know is real.
Well, now on high alert and very anxious this weekend, having to wait to see what the breaking 8's going to be.
I'm tempted to go down the path of doing it anyway. Have we got time?
Well, how about we just wait until after 8:30?
Right, okay.
All right. Let's just.
It's a very funny story.
Okay.
And I can't stress enough. We all know that the Easter Bunny is real.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm concerned about the Easter Bunny's mental health, given
there are, however, some people in the South Australian primary school system who appear to have a different and deluded opinion of that, and may have shared it with some children.
Oh, excellent. No, we're definitely doing that. That's coming up after 8:30. Let's take a quick break. Dan Houston will join us in a moment. But when the UV's 3 and above cover up, use sun protection. Stay sun smart. Download the SunSmart app.
At Elizabeth South, blackout affecting lights on Phillip Highway near Hogarth Road. Works at Glenelg North a bit slow. Anzac Highway near Pine Avenue. Getting busy at Old Noongar, Victor Harbour Road near Main South Road, and also busy Brighton Road, Brighton. Cameras today, Dagley Road, Sturt, and Gorge Road at Athelston. Eric Banner stars in Force of Nature, The Dry 2, now available to buy or rent at home. What happened to Alice? Suspect everyone, trust no one. Watch now at home. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show. Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
The AFL can no longer sweep illicit drug use and their welfare drug policy under the carpet.
How's it made its way to Parliament? And how is it Mr Wilkie has demanded that the PM get involved? So how has it got to this level?
The player is often asked to fake an injury.
The 5AA Sports Show.
Is this the AFL's next Essendon drug saga?
Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
The business sector has had incredible advances in AI. One solution can show you how AI can streamline your business, introducing efficiencies you never thought possible. You'll save money and time, unlock new growth avenues, and you'll be keeping up with the rest of the business community. With AI and One Solution, you can innovate, optimize, and excel across every facet of your business. One Solution will show you how. onesolution.net.au, a Platinum Telstra partner.
Struggling with your CPAP therapy? Try the world's first auto-fitting mask from Fisher & Paykel Healthcare. Respirocare Healthcare is offering the Fisher & Paykel Sleep Style device for 30% off, plus a free solo mask valued at $310. Visit one of 6 Respirocare clinics and mention this ad to redeem this offer. Respirocare Healthcare, proudly serving South Australia for 20 years. When considering whether CPAP is right for you, speak to your doctor. Always follow the directions for use.
If you're thinking of building or you are renovating your kitchen, you've got a lot of choices to make, but the first choice should be Smeg. Now, we have an amazing Smeg showroom right here in Adelaide. It's called Debney Distributors. It's at Dudley Park, and inside you'll find the full Smeg range on display.
You don't need to tell me where it is, Will. I was out there a few weeks ago. Absolutely fantastic, with Donzi running through the full guide as to how I can use my new excellent Smeg oven. It's not just ovens though, cooktops, dishwashers, fridges, wine cellars, kettles, toasters and more. Smeg pairs powerful performance with architectural design. And look, these cooking demos, they are so educational, so much fun, and most importantly, you can really taste the difference with Smeg. It's been proudly made in Italy since 1948, and the colour design and technology is world famous. Smeg, technology with style. Visit the Smeg showroom today at Debney Distributors, Harrison Road, Dudley Park.
Ignition for Men. Adelaide's home of luxury menswear offer an impeccable range of suits by leading Italian brands, including tailor-made suits using the finest Italian fabrics from Zegna, Canali, Zignoni, Holland and Sherry, along with many more. Special occasions or business, stand out in a tailor-made suit by Ignition for Men. Call into Ignition for Men at 54 Paynham Road, Stepney, or visit ignitionformen.com.au.
It's Edward here from Edwardstown Mazda.
Thanks, Edward. I've got this. And it's big news.
How big?
Really big. Edwardstown Mazda have extended their sale with huge Mazda factory bonuses across a wide range of Mazdas. Plus, get a $2,000 trade-in bonus on top of your trade-in price. Only available at Edwardstown Mazda.
Wow.
I know, right? Wow.
Play the jingle sing.
It's gotta be Edwardstown Mazda. T's and C's apply.
From landing your first job, applying for a home loan or funding that retirement renovation, there are moments in life when super plays its part. Sometimes they're obvious, sometimes not. But when your super moment arrives, it makes sense to be with a long-term top performer like Australian Super. It's Australian, it's super, and it's yours. Balanced option compared to super ratings SR50 60 to 76 index to December 31, 2023. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future returns. Read the PDS and TMD at australiansuper.com.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Ray White Business Sales. Business people selling businesses. Go on, touch base. Search RWC Business Sales.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
24 minutes after 8, Dan Houston's going to join us in just a few moments' time. First, we'll check in on the fuel situation, find out when fuel's at its cheapest and where to fill up nearby with a free FIVEAA app. The spots won't sound cheap, but trust us, in a relative sense they are. The ex-convenience Shearer Drive Seaford is at $1.77.5. The Ampolo O'Connell Street North Adelaide's at $1.79.5. The OTR North East Road Hillcrest is $1.79.5. The United Grand Junction Road Rosewater is also at $1.79.5. That's a pretty good mark if you need to fill up today. The United Richmond Road Richmond is also at $1.88.9. You've got some Dutton's texts coming in while we wait on Dan.
Someone's accused me of being biased because I called Peter Malinauskas Mally. Is that a form of bias, is it? Does that mean if we called Peter Dutton Duts or David Spears Spearsy that we love them? Is that the new benchmark?
I'll grant you Duts, but I'm not sure anyone's calling you David Spears Spearsy.
Spearsy.
The D-man.
The D-man. Why not? Let's call him Spearsy.
Yeah.
So many messages about the AFL, and I'll tell you what, they have got a massive PR problem on their hands. People feel like they have been conned. Disturbingly, quite a few people have texted in on the Dutton's text line in relation to breaking at 8, saying that this model involving live streams of, it appears, anything is susceptible to scams. Melissa writes, Dave, I think the Centennial scam you're discussing might be a symptom of a wider malaise. I entered a My Budget Easter competition on Facebook, and a fake My Budget account commented that I had won and directed me to a link to leave my details. And there was another one as well saying that there was a drag racing live stream. Here we go. The scam you were talking about also happens on Facebook when they're doing for drag racing fans who try and live stream some drag racing events. Put in your credit card details.
Well,
pack of shonks.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like it's being enthusiastically policed by Facebook, does it?
Nothing is.
26 after 8. Let's talk footy.
Dan Houston for the moment of all moments for Port Adelaide. It's online. Port Adelaide have done it again.
$19 schnitty Monday to Wednesday at the Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and Lighthouse Wharf. You just know it's a Barrow Hotel. Dan Houston back in Hindmarsh Square. Dan, good morning to you, mate.
Good morning, Will. How are you going?
We're well. You guys flying high. Big win against Richmond at the MCG on the weekend. Must have you feeling pretty good.
Yeah, we're feeling pretty good about ourselves. Always good to be 2-0. There's no easy win at the moment in the AFL. So we're looking forward to Melbourne to build on that this week.
It's another big test for Port. I thought last week, some of the coverage, some of the analysis, to win against Richmond at the MCG, never even a remotely easy job. I thought Port well and truly got the job done. You might have had a few sluggish moments in the first half, but you came home with a wet sail, particularly in Boakey's 350th in the second half.
Yeah, I agree. I think any win's a good win at the moment, and we'll keep trying to bank them. And it's sort of a good thing that we're not playing really strong four-quarter performances at the moment. We can still learn while we are winning, and we have a good match this week against Melbourne. So we'll need to make sure we're on our A game and make sure we're learning from our first two games.
Hey Dan, how do you feel about the prospect next time you have a 1 week injury? Maybe you've got a sore back, or you get sick, get the flu or something, rather than you drop out. You're going to have 500 people on social media saying, I wonder what Dan's been up to because of the AFL's drug testing policy. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one to answer at the moment. I think, we'll leave it to the AFL and the clubs, but, it's something that we'll have a bit of speculation around it, that's for sure, but you can almost guarantee that the honesty out of the Port Footy Club has been really good over a long period of time.
Well, we spoke to your chairman yesterday, Dan Koshy, and he was very forthright with his view. He said that the whole thing had caught him on the hop. He had no idea that they had such an operation in place. But as we always say to blokes like you, who are kind enough to come on with us. This isn't the 7:30 report. We're not here to, demand that you weigh into every controversial issue that's happening in the game. And frankly, you're probably quite happy with that arrangement, mate.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something I don't want to, dive into, and it's not my area of expertise. So, I'll leave that to the clubs, the doctors, and the AFL to sort that out. But yeah, from what I know, if I get a 1 week injury, it'll definitely be a 1 week injury.
Well said. Well said.
Absolutely.
Hey, Dan, is there any danger that, from a player's perspective, gather round can be a distraction? It's such a big footy event now. The whole world comes here. You obviously want to perform really well on the national stage next week. We've got to get over this weekend first, obviously, against a really good opponent. Have you spoken internally about the club at all about making sure the focus doesn't drift towards next week?
We haven't spoken about it yet. I think we're pretty good as a club as staying in the moment. I'm sure once next week hits, though, there will be a lot of external appearances, and the AFL wanting us to do a little bit of extra stuff. So making sure that our head's still in the right mind space, that we are here to win in gather round, and not just be a part of all the fanfare as well.
And you got some really exciting news yesterday with one of the guys who's become not just a stalwart of the back line, but a key component of the success you've had in recent years. Aliir signing on for a couple more years. That must be a real boost for the group.
Yeah, it is a real boost. I mean, and Aliir is a really important part of our culture at the club and our playing group, and he's part of the spine that makes us such a good team. And for him to show his faith and stick around with the likes of Zerk Thatcher and Radagalier, I mean, it shores up the defence for another 2 years, which is really good, and he's such a great bloke to have around the club.
Hey, did you get one of those cool Boki wind cheaters, Dan? You were wearing one when you came in last week, weren't you? Did you have one on, or was that... No, well, that might have been our producer, Sam. He's a total Port Tragic.
Yeah,
he's got one.
I wore mine. I think Sam was looking to get his because it looks so good on me.
You were modelling it.
Hey, I actually wanted to ask you, Dan, MCG last weekend, it sounded like Trav got a great reception late in the game. He got a touch out in the wing, and the applause he got was incredibly loud. Did you get a sense, was that just Port people making a lot of noise, or was that Richmond fans that really bought into celebrating a guy who's an icon of the game?
I thought that was a lot of Richmond supporters that were, buying into Trav's career and what he's done for the Port Adelaide Football Club, and just how he is as a person and what he does for other people. It was really spine-tingling, hearing that. There wasn't a massive crowd there, but for them to be so emotionally involved in the game and involved in Trav was awesome to hear. And it does show that opposition fans can be really good at times too, which the Richmond Football Club fans were, which we appreciate. And I remember a few boys saying after the game, how cool that was. And in the past we've definitely had fans booing Jason Horne-Francis, but to hear some cheers for a great player, just makes you think that there is a fair bit of positive out there too.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice. It was hard to tell because it's easier if you're on the ground to know where the sound's coming from, but it was really loud, it was really obvious, and it was a nice tribute, as you say, on a day that otherwise, Grand Prix on, it wasn't the greatest crowd in Melbourne. Yeah. Hey, all the best for this weekend. A big game, Melbourne at their best, as good as anyone in the competition, so that'll be a nice one for you guys to get under your belt ahead of Gather Round next weekend. Great to chat with you, Dan.
Good on you, Dan.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, Dave. Cheers.
$19 schnitty Monday to Wednesday at the Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and Lighthouse Wharf. You just know it's a Barrow Hotel. Feedback Thursday coming up next.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Sunny and 27 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
From chips to replacements, make Complete Windscreens your insurer repairer of choice. CompleteWindscreens.com.au.
A youth is in hospital after a stabbing at Port Adelaide. He was stabbed in the hand and back in Quebec Street just before midnight. His injuries are not life-threatening. The victim and the offender know each other, and it wasn't a random attack. Investigators found a crucial piece of evidence as they look for clues over the bridge collapse in Baltimore. US correspondent Jonathan Kersley.
Officials from the National Transport Safety Board went on board the cargo vessel the Darling, which crashed into Baltimore's Key Bridge. They recovered the data recorder, which is essentially the ship's black box. 6 people are still unaccounted for in a search that is now a recovery mission. Divers have returned to the scene today to scour the murky waters that are now filled with debris.
$1 billion worth of grants and subsidies will be offered to the nation's renewable energy industry in a bid to boost production of solar panels. The Prime Minister will announce the new Solar Sunshot scheme today. It'll provide funding across the supply chain from raw materials and research to wafers and glass. A late-night hearing has revealed half the high-risk asylum seekers released from detention are not being actively monitored. About 150 people were allowed out last year after the High Court determined indefinite detention was unlawful. The federal government has repeated claims the former detainees are wearing ankle bracelets, but under questioning from the opposition, it's emerged many are not.
Anyone watching this hearing will see an attempt to cover up and protect the government's interests here.
I think Senator Patterson.
No, you are
Senator
making
Patterson,
an outrageous suggestion that public servants are involved in a cover-up to protect the government's interests.
There's nothing outrageous about it.
Sorry, it's order.
South Australia's longest-serving international carrier, Singapore Airlines, is celebrating 40 years of flying to and from Adelaide. The airline's inaugural service, a Boeing 747, landed in Adelaide on March 31st, 1984, less than 18 months after the opening of Adelaide's International Airport. The tourism expenditure of daily direct Singapore airline flights is estimated to generate $96 million for the state every year. SAPOL wants to make sure Easter a fatality-free time on our roads. They're running not one but two road safety campaigns. 20 lives have been lost on SA roads so far this year, with 162 serious injuries. Operation Safe Holidays and Operation Stop Drink Drunk Driving will run concurrently through till Monday. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
And here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Graham. Port Adelaide midfielder Dan Houston believes there's plenty of improvement in the side ahead of Saturday night's clash against Melbourne at home. The Power are 2-0 to start the season, but Houston has told David and Will they can raise their game to another level.
It's sort of a good thing that we're not playing, really strong four-quarter performances at the moment. We can still learn while we are winning, and we have a good match this week against Melbourne, so we'll need to make sure we're on our A game and make sure we're learning from our first two games.
The teams for round 3 will be released tonight. Let's go to tennis. Italian Yannick Sinner's incredible 2024 season has continued, marching through to the semi-finals of the Miami Open following a 6-4, 6-2 win against Czech Tomas Majchak.
Yannick Sinner continues his masterful grip on the 2024 season.
Sinner now has a 20-1 record this season. American Danielle Collins is also through to the Final Four on the women's side following a straight sets win against Caroline Garcia. Well, Travis Head has blasted an 18-ball half-century in his first IPL match in 7 years, helping the Sunrisers Hyderabad beat the Mumbai Indians by 31 runs. A blow for the Matildas ahead of their Olympic campaign. Midfielder Katrina Gorry has declared her season with West Ham is over. That's after suffering an ankle injury. Meantime, Sam Kerr's Chelsea has moved into the semi-finals of the Champions League after a 1-1 draw against Ajax, the Blues moving through 4-1 on aggregate. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
When you cover things, they last longer. Same goes for you. Save your skin. Download the SunSmart app.
Well, yeah, pretty good run into work today, which is great. Simply a blackout to look out for at Elizabeth South this morning. It's affecting lights on Phillip Highway near Hogarth Road. Sluggish at O'Halloran Hill for works, Main South Road near Lander Road, and getting busy at Jepps Cross, Port Wakefield Road near Matthews Road. You find cameras this morning, Gorge Road, Athelston, and Henry Street at Morfordville. Lunch is sorted at OTR. For a limited time, buy any 2 sandwiches or wraps and get the second one half price. Conditions apply. OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast. Sunny today, 27 degrees. Tomorrow, Good Friday, sunny, 29. Saturday, sunny, 31. Sunday, mostly sunny, 28. And Easter Monday, cloudy, 25. Right now it's 17. More news as it happens on 5AA.
It's time to take a closer look at a Peugeot with drive-away offers on new SUVs. Like the Peugeot 3008 GT SUV from an alluring drive-away price. With an elevated driving position and the latest safety features, this mid-size SUV epitomises style and comfort. Take advantage of new SUVs available for prompt delivery while stocks last. T's and C's apply. Head to Peugeot.com.au or visit your local Peugeot dealer today.
Some houses are forced to hide behind a fence. With a cast stone fence and gate, your beautiful home is enhanced and on display. Cast Stone is an SA company with a bold reputation for premium quality fences. You'll see their work on the streets of Adelaide's best postcodes. Cast Stone's heritage and contemporary stone pillars are designed to suit solid walling, tubular steel, cast aluminium, brush fencing or timber slats. Don't hide your home, enhance it. View the gallery at caststone.com.au or arrange a consultation.
At the brand new Kent Town Hotel, there's room for everyone. The Kent Bar oozes with happy times. It's got outdoor seating undercover for over 150 people. With upstairs the balcony bar, they've got another 150 seats inside and out. And there's always the pool room for that party of 30.
Now, Will and I have been in there. It's fantastic. You've got to see the redevelopment to believe it. Tom, the owner, he's been in hotels his whole life. He knows how to make your experience memorable, like the stunning 90-seat restaurant that opens fully to the street, where you'll find oysters opened French style and more than 400 wines to choose from.
It's little wonder that they won the Best Hotel Redevelopment Award.
The Kent Town Hotel. Everyone's loving this pub.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Ray White Business Sales. Business people selling businesses. Go on, touch base, search RWC Business Sales.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Feedback. Friday today, so have you say feedback.
Couldn't adjust the lyrics, unfortunately, but still, it is Feedback Thursday today, a very special edition, of course, leading into the Easter long weekend. We couldn't get by without hearing feedback from our listeners and people who are at the market this morning. One thing we love about the Thursday before the Easter long weekend where we're at the markets is the live, in-person Feedback Thursday, and we are delighted to be joined at the desk by one of our funniest, most frequent and eloquent texters in Kaz from Brompton. Kaz, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys.
Great to see you, Kaz. Thanks for making the special effort to come in. Although Brompton's not that far, is it? I mean,
no, look, usually it's a Friday I come in.
I love Brompton.
Yeah, Brompton's good.
Yeah, Brompton's
got a real zip about it, a lot of energy.
I've been there for over 30 years and it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
But it's changed for the better, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that Foodland and the food court area around there.
That's it,
Plant
Bowden,
Four,
yeah.
Jarmas, there's so many good spots to eat.
Yep.
Nice
Very
area.
true.
Hip and happening.
Not me.
Not us either.
Come on, Kaz. Yes, you are. All right, let's get into the feedback this morning, starting with one that hasn't never been controversial on this program at all. Do you think there should be football played on Good Friday?
Couldn't care less.
Yeah, thank you. Good answer. I knew that would be your answer too, Kaz. I know your disdain of footy.
No, just...
Or of the debate, rather.
Yeah.
The Dunston by-election result was finally done at 6 p.m. last night. 21,000 votes cast. Took them nearly 6 days. Could you count 21,000 votes quicker than the AEC, do you think?
Definitely. I used to do tax returns when they were paper and had to count them.
Oh,
Stamp
really?
them and count them.
You'd be overqualified. That's
Do you know anyone at the tax office still? Just bump it up a bit for us.
No, I think they've all retired out of hatred.
This is a bit of a newsy one for you, Kaz. Do you think the AFL has a drug problem?
Not that you'd know about.
No, which is the policy working superbly.
You don't know, you don't care, you don't get caught.
Yeah, don't ask, don't tell.
Exactly right. We've had elective surgery cancelled for a few days. When was the last time you were under the knife?
About 4 years ago when I had my cataracts done.
You've had that done,
yeah.
haven't you,
I had both done.
Yeah, I only had the left done.
Was it life changing? A lot of people say it makes a huge improvement.
Yeah, I could see again.
Yeah.
Did you find it hard driving at night, Kaz?
I don't drive.
You don't drive, really?
But I do find it hard to see when I'm in the car at night because you get the flash of sort of like an aura.
Yeah.
This one too topical at the moment, given potential changes to local government. Have you ever voted in a council election?
Yes.
Do you always vote in council elections?
What's your council in Brompton? West Torrens?
Hindmarsh, so Charles Sturt.
Charles Sturt, of course. Yeah.
I'm an old union secretary, so
really?
I vote.
Which union?
Tax Office branch of the Community Public Sector
CPSU?
Union. Yeah.
Excellent. Good on you.
Nice to learn more about you, Kaz. Nice to have you here at the Central Market with us too.
Oh, it's been fun.
We'll start calling you Comrade Kaz.
No.
Good on you, Kaz.
Sarcasm's better.
Yeah.
Sarcasm. We like
that's
that.
right.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Good on you, Kaz. Thank you. Let's continue Feedback Thursday with Ron, who's here at the Adelaide
Ron.
Central Market as well.
Here he comes. G'day, Ron.
Here he is, Ron. You can watch along on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream. Morning to you, Ron.
G'day.
What
How
brings you
you
to the markets this morning?
Oh, look, I drop in here probably twice a week and have a coffee and a bit of breakfast.
Do you shopping here too, mate?
Yeah, I do. I love
Good
it.
spot, isn't it?
What a great spot.
Is meat on the menu for Good Friday?
Oh, yeah, I'm afraid so.
I'm not an archbishop,
The web is
Ron.
coming out.
You're not going to get lashed. Qantas flight between Perth and Melbourne lost an engine this week. Had to make an emergency landing. Do you take great notice of which airline you're booking with when you're booking a flight?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I try and support the local product.
And Qantas is a go-to?
Yeah.
Tom Jones was at the drive Tuesday night. He's 83. Is there anything you think you'd still like to be able to do at 83 years of age?
I'd like to be Tom Jones. Yeah. Isn't he brilliant?
It feels like a fun life. It feels
does,
like being Tom Jones.
He's had a life well spent.
Yeah, I think that's
Tom Jones probably still wants to be able to do what Tom Jones used to do when he was 33 years of age.
I think he still might.
Which was 250 times a year, apparently.
He'd give it a red hot crack, I think.
Yeah, that's one way. That's one turn of phrase.
That's right.
David's hoping to get his last swim in over Easter. What's the temperature at which you say it's too cool to go to the beach?
Oh, look, I reckon 22.
22, you go, we're not going to the beach.
Nah,
Do you swim when it's 22?
Nah, probably not. Okay. I find the water too cold here in Adelaide.
Yeah, it is a bit cool in this southern part of the country. You excited for Gather Round next week?
Yeah, I am. I reckon it's a great opportunity.
You get to any games?
I'm going to try to.
Who's
your team, mate?
Crows.
Yeah, good on you.
Commiserations.
Yeah.
I say that as a Crows fan. I'm a Crows
And the
supporter
Oakland
too.
Raiders.
Yeah, exactly, and the Oakland Raiders.
Ron, thank you. Appreciate you being
Good on you, Ron.
Feedback Thursday. Of course,
Beautifully
we've
done,
got
mate.
the magnificent fish trader giveaway thanks to Angelakis Brothers here at the market.
Just while we're waiting for contestant number 3 to arrive, I've got it on good authority that within the next 24 hours, excellent news for South Australia. China will be announcing that it is officially dropping all tariffs against our wine industry.
Fantastic. Well, they've made the provisional decision and we're pretty excited about that. So for it to become official, that'll be big news at some point in the next 24 hours. Sally.
Hi.
Good morning to you.
How are you,
Thanks
Sally?
for joining
Good, thanks.
What brings you to the market this morning, Sally?
Well, I'm quite a regular visitor
Okay.
here, but you guys as well.
Yeah.
How
Sally.
nice.
Sally.
Thanks for coming in.
You're too kind. Cocoa price has gone through the roof. Are Easter eggs overpriced this year?
Well, depends where you go.
Yeah. Good
If you go to the cheap shops, it's fine.
Yes.
But, you know.
You can end up bankrupting yourself
Yes,
elsewhere.
exactly.
No, that's fair enough. There was an Adelaide woman earlier in the week who left her wedding dress on the roof of her car,
I saw
drove
that.
off, it disappeared. Have you ever left anything on the roof of your car?
No, I did hear you guys do that, and I was thinking, oh, no, I probably have my keys or something, but nothing as drastic as the wedding dress.
No, that would be great.
Did she find it?
I don't
No, I
think
don't think she did.
Oh,
A
God.
$5 reward hasn't been claimed.
Oh,
at this point
how
in time.
annoying.
Yeah,
Very annoying.
There's some homeless guy getting around in a flying white gown.
Looking very overdressed.
I think her dress was about $2,000. If you enter the field of play at Adelaide Oval during a football game, you get fined about $3,000. Is it time we jacked up the penalties for pitch invaders in
Yes,
sports?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you see the guy in the...
I did. I
Yeah.
thought, oh, you wanker.
Yeah, no, you can say that.
Yeah, we
That's
say
fair
that
editorial
from time to
comment.
time.
Yeah. Fair and accurate comment, I think is what they call it. The Melbourne hosted the Formula One Grand Prix last weekend. They had 440,631 people go through the gates. Would you be a fan if we still had the F1 here?
Yes, my husband actually went over for the F1.
Oh, so if it was here, you'd be going along with him.
Yeah.
Last
yeah.
week he was over there.
Yeah, he just flew over for the day.
Does he always go?
No, he just got tickets through work and went with his godson that lives over there. So
half his
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sally.
Yeah,
Appreciate
pleasure.
you being part of
Thank
Thursday.
you.
Good on you,
Happy
Sally.
Easter.
Back Thursday. Who do we
Thank
like
you.
for the Angelakis fish
Oh,
trade?
this is so hard. This is so hard. I might use a random biro.
The random biro. The biro of...
It's Kaz. Kaz from Brompton.
Kaz, you've got fish coming your way. Thank you, Kaz.
Good on you, Kaz.
Congratulations to you. You've won fish.
Stacey from Richmond's popped in as well. Happy Easter, Stacey. Great to see you.
Let's give someone else a $100 faster pasta voucher as well with the pen of randomness.
Give that to Sally.
Sally, you've got $100 worth of faster pasta coming your way.
We'll get
for
one of
being
those
part
flash new coffee cups for Dan as well.
Ron.
That way, Ron. Hang on.
If there's
I can't read my own handwriting.
If there's a Dan here, they can get one
Dan
too.
can get one too.
Congratulations to Sally. You've won a $100 faster pasta voucher. Order takeaway from Faster Pasta. You get variety like burger, schnitties, pasta, pizza, salads, seafood, and much more. And just a reminder, all next week on the program, because it is Gather Round next week, Mark, amazing it's already here. Mac, as the official partners for the Footy Festival AFL Gather Round, have given us a money cannot buy prize, and frankly tickets that almost money can't buy now too, because everything's sold out. Tickets to get along the game, but a Port v Essendon on the Friday night, a zipline experience across the Torrens. You get a pre-game viewing experience from the boundary line, and then of course you get to watch the whole game. All next week, your chance to go in the running to win those excellent tickets. But make sure you're listening from 6 o'clock. It is a terrific prize. We're going to take one more break, and then we'll wrap up from the Adelaide Central Markets and let everyone get on and enjoy their Easter. When the UV is 3 and above, cover up, use sun protection, stay sun smart, download the SunSmart app.
Thanks, Will. Pretty smooth sailing as we head into Easter on the roads, which is excellent. We have a blackout to look out for Elizabeth South, affecting lights on Phillip Highway near Hogarth Road. A little busy at the moment for works at Glenelg North, Anzac Highway near Pine Avenue, and slow going at Dry Creek North-South motorway near the Wingfield interchange. Don't let the cameras ruin your long weekend. You'll find them this morning, McGill Road, McGill, and Morford Road at Morfordville. Don't be a bunny. Hop into Chemist Warehouse now for great savings, like a massive half price off the Nature's Way range. T's and C's apply. Hurry, sale ends April 10th. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
On 5AA mornings today, down at the Central Market, if you're doing your shopping, come by and say g'day. On the show this morning, the Electoral Commission releases counts of the regions for the SA voice to Parliament. Those results show a low voter turnout. And new state government legislation gives councils the power to regulate shopping trolleys and light displays. Could they come after your Christmas lights? Those topics, your calls, a lot more too. I'm Matthew Pantelis. Look forward to your company from 9.
It all started in the back shed. Maybe it started early. Or late. Either way, the Olympic Industry sale means there's no need to wait. With big savings on our entire range of SA-engineered sheds, garages, carports and verandas, you can afford to start something big, tough, or tasty in your own backyard. Start something with the Olympic Industry sale. On now.
It's official, prawn season has begun and SA King Prawns is the place to go for the freshest catch. When Tony, Heather and their crew aren't at sea, they're selling their delicious catch in the SA King Prawn Store in Edinburgh North and SA Farmers Market, Pooraka. Pick up 5 kilos of raw prawns from $60. Buy 2 or more 5 kilo cartons, get $5 off per carton. SA King Prawns, open 6 days at 15 Hewitson Road, Edinburgh North. Sundays only at the SA Farmers Market, Pooraka.
Alfred James Funeral Homes is built on a legacy of compassion, honour and service. So it's no surprise that they're there for families in their time of need. They've been doing it for over 100 years. What may be surprising is the lengths they'll go to help you pay tribute to the life journey of your loved one.
Now, it doesn't matter if you've got a special song that you might think is a bit unconventional, they will play it. It might be a eulogy that's both heartwarming and hilarious. They'll laugh along with you. And don't forget, Alfred James Funeral Homes, they're the ones launching ashes into orbit on a SpaceX rocket.
What a tribute that would be.
I'm a rocket man.
Exactly right. Some people are not all into living out their eternity in an urn thing. They might want to do it in the vast expanses of space.
Not? Exactly. The final frontier.
At your time of need or to arrange a prepaid funeral, speak to Alfred James Funeral Homes, honouring lives in extraordinary ways.
Get obsessed with the Honda SUV range at Formula Honda, Modbury and Glen Osmond. Whether it's the compact HRV, the sporty mid-sized Honda ZR-V or the spacious CR-V. And for a limited time, new Honda SUVs come with a 7-year warranty, 7-year roadside assist and 5 standard low-price services at $199 each. Visit Formula Honda, Modbury or Glen Osmond and test drive today. Vehicles used for a commercial purpose have a 7-year or 200,000 kilometre warranty, whichever occurs first. T's and C's at honda.com.au.
Ray White Business Sales. Business people selling businesses. Go on, touch base, search RWC Business Sales.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Make sure you tune into Robbie and Timmy G later today. Get $10 off your favourite cut of steak Thursdays at the Excelsior Hotel. You just know it's a Barrow Hotel. They're broadcasting live from the parade at Nord a little bit later today. Now, We have a breaking at 8:54 today that's fitting as we leave our listeners on this Easter Thursday.
As I alluded to, there's been a bit of an Easter Bunny-related blow-up at Colonel Light Gardens Primary School, of all places. Now, on the face of it, it's funny, but clearly the people involved are quite distressed by it. I'm not sure if the person who landed himself in strife is a teacher or an SSO or a volunteer, but what happened is that I think it was yesterday or a couple of days ago, but it appears to be yesterday. The principal sent a very apologetic email to the entire school community, which included a statement from a man who was running some sort of Christian sort of learning group, almost like maybe even like a what do they call it? A chaplaincy style educational class about the meaning of Easter. Well, it sounds like the class went awry, because this is the statement that this man has sent to the school community at Colonel Light Gardens via the principal, Liz Pelling. I'm writing to apologise for the pain I have caused the school community due to my poorly considered statement regarding whether the Easter Bunny is real.
Oh no.
I appreciate why parents are disappointed and offended. Matters like these are a precious part of a child's life which a family enjoys and is responsible for. I acknowledge my words have impacted both this joy and responsibility. This grieves me. I am saddened I have confused children and upset their families. Now, the poor bloke, he's clearly got himself into a bit of a predicament. And as I said at the start, we all know the Easter Bunny is real. The Easter Bunny will be arriving here in South Australia on Sunday. Yes. But clearly, comments have been made, parents have hit the roof, kids have been coming home asking confused questions about the veracity of the rabbit's existence, and all hell's broken loose.
So he's had a shocker. It's not as though this is some sort of Marxist cultural curriculum thing.
No.
This is one bloke in isolation who...
Maybe he just had a completely defensible purist adherence to the meaning of Easter.
Yes.
That it's actually about what happens particularly tomorrow, and then with the resurrection in a few days' time, as opposed to an orgy of eggs being dumped in the front yard. But, you know...
Do we know how old the kids were?
Well, it's primary school, so I don't know. Some of them might have been like 7.
Oh, so was this potentially a whole school assembly?
I don't know, but it sounds like there was some sort of chat about the Easter Bunny. It's gone off the rails. I think we should cut the bloke some slack.
Well, that sounds like a full-hearted apology.
Very much so. It sounds like the guy's really taken it to heart, and he's been involved with the school community for a long time.
Okay, so we'll put this one down to a misstep.
Yeah, that's right. To the parents of the school, I'd say, look, let's just keep it in perspective.
I can understand if your kid's in reception,
and
they're 5.
But as I said,
I imagine to be somewhat.
We love the Easter Bunny.
Frustrated.
The Easter Bunny.
The Easter Bunny's excellent. No such missteps here on this program.
No,
and we make many.
That's right.
But not on this one.
None involving the Easter Bunny.
Exactly right. Generally, just about the justice system.
That's right. Exactly.
We're out of time. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday and indeed the long weekend. Magnificent weather on the way. It's going to be just beautiful. So if you're spending it with family or however you're doing it, have a wonderful time. If you're coming down to the Central Market, you will have an excellent time because it smells great. The produce is fantastic. We've enjoyed being here. We've enjoyed chatting with you. And we look forward to doing it all again on Tuesday morning.
See you then, folks. Have a great weekend. Happy Easter.
Heading out on the water? Make sure you have the